Hey guys, it's Greg, and in this video, I want to show you something really special, and that's how to create your own mobile-friendly, responsive online store website, just like this website, where you can sell any product that you or your friends or family think up locally with an audience all around the globe. I want to show you how to create everything you see here, including a beautiful slider to show off your products or your journeys around the world. We're going to see how to set up a portfolio of your products, and of course, your own custom-made products. In this case, we just have a few examples, like a t-shirt, a sports ebook that someone can download, of course a hat, and a handbag. Below that, we're going to make a blog because that way you can use native marketing to go ahead and write about your products and get those search rankings up by ranking your blog posts in Google and then linking to your products. So you get more awareness and more SEO. And all sorts of other basic website stuff, like a professional looking footer. And of course, we're going to do it all like we always do with WordPress. That means that you won't need to know any code or tech knowledge, no CSS, HTML, JavaScript, PHP, or none of that to get the website up and running. You can do it all from home. I mean, all you need is just a computer with some internet and the ability to follow some simple directions. And I'll tell you everything else, including exactly what to click and where to go to get it all done. So I would show you the whole website right now, but really we're gonna build it all from scratch. So we'll actually cover every feature, like these cool business cards that we're gonna set up as we move along through the video. And if for whatever reason you wanna skip ahead and go learn a new section again, or just come back later, you can use those little time bars on the track line and go ahead and click around, and I've labeled each one of them so you never get lost. Of course, we see here is our shop page, and you can also make as many products as you want. So there's no limit. You can sell everything from physical products to products with a ton of variety, like different colors and sizes. You can sell your own fashion goods like yoga mats and water bottles. You can do downloads, t-shirts and hats, which are popular with a ton of people like college students. Or if you're creating an event and you want to generate awareness, this is a great way to get a few dollars coming in and have people support your cause with your own custom-made items. So I can't wait to show you how to get started. Let's go ahead and look at the steps we're going to need to make a website. And by the way, if you're wondering who I am and why I know anything about e-commerce, we've been making these videos on YouTube for about 6 years now. Our first one was in 2015. And what we do is I basically create a website on my own with the right theme, and I pick out the plugins from all the best available ones in WordPress. I try to do it as free as possible, and then I basically take the whole website apart and start the tutorial with you guys, and we go ahead and make it all right here together like a puzzle. And that way you don't have to have any questions like which theme or which plugins or are things not going to work together, because I've been building WordPress websites for clients and more importantly for you guys for what seems like forever now. And if you're wondering where we've been with the e-commerce websites, because we haven't made one of these since 2019, well, we've just been pretty much making real e-commerce websites for various friends and various causes that we're into. The last website we completed was called originalgolf18.com. My buddy Jeff made the whole website and concept to generate awareness for black spaces in Minneapolis, which we need to save. This space being the golf course called Hiawatha Golf Course, which was one of the first places in the Midwest where African American people could play the sport. What we did was sell something super simple, which I know you could come up with too, which were just caps of various colors. And these baseball caps flew off the shelves. It was so exciting seeing Jeff create a site like this and having me give him the e-commerce functionality that I'm going to show you how to set up today, and have him just get order after order from real people who want to support this cause. Long story short, things were not looking good for the golf course, but with Jeff's positivity and determination in the face of adversity, he was able to take a tough situation and make sure that things stayed the way they were and keep things in our community for the people that built them originally, which felt awesome. I almost want to tear up thinking about it.
Yeah. It didn't pass.
You have 4 eyes, 5 days.
It didn't pass.
That does not carry the next resolution. Resolution
It didn't pass.
Good job, boys. Come here. Oh, I love you, man. I love you. We did it. Good job, guys. Good job. And the result was Hiawatha Golf Course was saved. And now we have the hats to remember what we all accomplished together. So I want to give you the opportunity to get involved in e-commerce, which is just the act of selling goods online in an e-format, just like email, for example. And that way you can harness your own ideas and your own causes, put them on the web, and go ahead and make a huge difference and have a reason to celebrate as well. So I truly hope you'll stick around and use as much or as little of this video as you need to get your own e-commerce website, aka online store, up and running. Like I said, we've done this the real way. So we're not just talking the talk, we actually have walked the walk. And speaking of walk the walk in the right way, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to use some styles from Amazon, like the specific yellow color and button style, and this cool blue banner at the top of our sites to give your visitors the feel of Amazon, because we want to do something that works, and they have proven it. So if you look at Amazon right now, I want to give you all the skills it takes to not just understand e-commerce like they do, but actually use different features and styles from their website by developing our own web design skills and building literally what you see right here. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, our website is a lot more simplified, and you're not going to have this many products, but I think once you get going, you will have a lot of content, and the skills we learn through WordPress web design are going to help you make something equally as powerful. So if you're ready to devote a couple hours of your time today to build a website that could potentially change the course of history forever, then I'm ready too. And by the way, guys, everything we do here is on a shoestring budget that basically would mimic what a grad student or college student's budget is, because I too was making my first website once, and I'm not going to pretend that I had a bunch of money or that I know how much you have to invest in a website. All I did was get my domain name and buy some cheap hosting and make it work. And I was so nervous that even the domain name scared me just to register, my own .com online for the first time. So I've been in your shoes, and all this stuff was really new to me, and now it's all near and dear to my heart. So I want it to be super easy for you. Why don't we look at, though, what this will cost so you know what you're getting into. And I will tell you that if you went out in your town and got a quote from a developer, they would charge you probably just $500 to get the website up and running. And that wouldn't even include making the content look good, like making an image slider or putting up a portfolio or your own blog. Those would all be additional charges a la carte probably. So let's look at the steps, and then we can actually get cracking and build this darn website. So the first step we're going to learn how to do today is grab our own domain name. Just like google.com or dearblogger.com, which is my website where we have courses on how to make a website. But all you need to do is think up some words and put a .com, a .not, a .donut, whatever after it, and that way you'll get on the web. And you can use any cool domain name too now, like .club or .biz. So it's really up to you. The domain name you choose doesn't determine how well you rank in Google, although the .coms are the most recognizable and the most profitable if you want to sell your whole website someday for a little bit of cash. Now, I will tell you that you have to keep it simple and clear, because if people can't remember your domain name in a couple seconds when you're out at a conference or some sort of dinner party, then you're going to be sunk before you even get started. So keep the domain name simple, and we'll go over a few more tips right when we're registering our domain name for how to pick the best one. Unfortunately, you can't get google.com or dearblogger.com right now because I've already got them, but it is going to be fun finding one that's available for you. And a domain name costs about $15 per year. That's an annual cost. That's just something that all of us who are into websites and developing and WordPress pay for. It's just kind of the way it is. And I think at this point, I run anywhere between 75 and 90 domain names at any one time. Once we have our domain name, we're going to get some hosting, which is just some space to put our website on. Hosting can be thought of like a plot of land. And in that analogy, the domain name is just the address of the plot of land. So when someone types in dearblogger.com or youramazongonlinestore.com, they see the plot of land that you've made, which will start out as a white screen. And that is why we install WordPress onto that plot of land, so they have something to see, like all of this. So that's kind of just how it works in a nutshell with a simple analogy. Now, I'll tell you too that hosting comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes. There's hosts that will charge you a ton per month for things like dedicated servers and such. And there are hosts that are just simple, easy to use, and just plain work. That's what we're going to use today, and it's called HostGator. And HostGator is going to cost us about $10 per month. With that, you get all sorts of tools like web design tools, emails, a ton of storage really fast. You get an SSL certificate for security. And of course, you get to use WordPress.org, which is free once you get the hosting. And it's kind of cool. I also have a coupon we can use today to get that hosting down a little bit. And that coupon is just Bigbonus. And there's actually no space between it, just Bigbonus like that. So whether you want to make your website today, or maybe you're just busy and want to make it a couple weeks from now, know that you can use that coupon code Bigbonus to save a ton of money at HostGator. And it gets our hosting price down really low. Like I'm talking like around the cost of a cup of coffee low. So just know you have that in your back pocket to make the process a little bit easier for you. Not everyone's able to find a good coupon like that. So I hope you can use it. And if you do, I also get a small affiliate commission from HostGator at no extra cost to you, just for sending you their way. So thanks so much. Okay, so as I mentioned, WordPress.org, which is also the same as self-hosted WordPress, those are just two of the same way of describing what we're going to use today, and it is totally free. So that is a common misconception. People think that WordPress.org costs money. However, WordPress.org is just a software that we install ourselves. And in order to use it, you need to have some hosting space connected with our own domain name. WordPress is also the exact same software that major brands use, like New York Times, Walt Disney, Time Magazine, and so on and so forth. And tons of great celebrities too, like Beyonce, Jay-Z, Tim Ferriss from the 4-Hour Workweek, and even famous bloggers like Zoella. They're all using WordPress.org, so you know you have a great community and you're not going to have to move to a different blogging platform in the future. And because I like analogies so much, why don't we compare what WordPress means and why we need it to something like Squarespace or Weebly? Well, when you use a tool like Squarespace or Weebly or what's the other one, Wix.com, what you're doing is basically leaving your house to go to work at some company. That's how it feels like. You are entering their world. You can only use the tools they provide, and they can censor you or take you down or even kick you out at some point. It might be nice when you're in there, but eventually you're going to hit walls and find limitations, and they will charge you as much as they want because they have you in their little world. But when you use WordPress.org, it's like working from home. You download the WordPress site and you own it on your laptop right there. That way you can make all the changes you want and actually own your content, your videos, your images, your text, the design, the template. You own all of it. And then you use your domain name and hosting once you're ready to share it with the rest of the world. So that's how it works. And I hope that's a pretty simple analogy given these unprecedented times where everyone is trying their best to work from home because it's just so relaxing and the home is the heart of everything. So once we have WordPress going, guys, we're going to install our theme. I've, of course, picked out a free one for you today. That's a Virtue theme with a lot of great reviews, and of course, it's free. So unlike other videos where they make you buy a theme for like $65, we're not going to have to do none of that. We're going to get that going for free, and then after that, all the content we create, like finding HD images on the internet and finding cool fonts and going ahead and designing with your own different ideas and graphics, those will all be free as well. Of course, I like to show you how to use the tools I use. So if you want, and I do recommend this, is we're going to learn how to sign up for PicMonkey.com, which will help us make logos and website art and graphic design and all sorts of stuff. And I believe PicMonkey costs something like $10 per month right now. So go ahead and try that out if you like. I'm sure they offer a free trial, and the tools they offer you and the speed that their website has now to make stuff and download it and get it onto your website, which we'll see how to do, of course, is unbelievably phenomenal. Okay, guys, so that all said, the total ticket today, our total bill is going to come out to literally under $25 to make your online store. And all of it is going to be super easy without code, like I said. But in terms of the money, that $25 is, I think, awesome. Believe me, if you went out in your town, like I said, a web designer would probably charge you, given how high prices are now, probably over $2,500 just to get the whole site done. And that wouldn't even include the negative cost of time going back and forth and telling someone what you want and then having them make it, but you don't like it, so you revise it, and maybe they eventually ship it off to you, but you don't know how to use it. You're going to skip all of those headaches by doing a website yourself in this DIY tutorial, and I'm just so excited. I can't believe we can all do it for such a cheap cost and be on the same level playing field as professional Fortune 500 brands. All right, guys, now that we've covered all the steps and the costs, I hope you're still as excited as I am. Let's go ahead and hop over to HostGator.com, where we are going to get step 1 and 2 done. We're going to get our domain name and our hosting from HostGator. And if by chance you had registered a domain name before from somewhere else like GoDaddy, I'll show you how to make that work as well. So here we go. Let's just open up our browsers and type in HostGator.com. And we're all set to get started.
Oh, hey now, where's Greg? Well, I'm just going to slide right on in the corner right there. I'm so excited to show you how to use HostGator if it's your first time. I set up my web hosting and my WordPress blog at HostGator back in 2012 after a conference for bloggers in San Francisco. On the plane ride back, my buddy from College Info Geek said, "You got to be on WordPress, man. You can't be on Blogger anymore." So I searched for a ton of web hosts. I looked around, looked at the different hosts available, tried like 5 or 10 of them, and I thought it was too hard for me to set up WordPress.org because I wasn't good at coding. Then I realized it wasn't me, it was them. Soon after, I found HostGator, and HostGator's made it incredibly easy. With a couple of clicks, I can set up WordPress, choose a WordPress theme, go ahead and write my blog posts, and make a complete website like so many of the household brands we see if I choose to. Now I run 50 or so different WordPress websites. We help thousands of people get set up every day, and I'm so honored to help you here. So here we are at HostGator, guys, and the first step we're going to do is just compare all the hosting plans at HostGator. To get started, we can just click on, you guessed it, Get Started. So HostGator offers these 3 plans. They've been offering them for years and years and years, and they've just worked great. So all they've done is just updated them and made them even better for everyone. Those are the hatchling plan, the baby plan, and the business plan, located in these 3 buckets. What's the difference? Well, I can tell you when I started out, I got a hatchling plan because it was the most affordable of HostGator's many affordable plans. Hatchling was the most affordable. And then eventually I updated to the baby plan when I wanted to go from just a single blog or website to running unlimited websites, making a website for the company down the road, getting into some freelance web design, linking my blogs for SEO, that sort of thing was possible with the baby plan. In the olden days, people used to like the business plan because it came with that free SSL certificate, which is that padlock in the upper left corner showing your site is secure. Really good for collecting e-commerce transactions, credit card payments on your website. But then HostGator realized that they should just offer that free SSL across all their plans. So it's really just the baby plan and the hatchling plan for us today, guys. You can pick whatever plan you like, but I'm just going to go with the hatchling plan because it has all these awesome features for a low price, like the free domain name for 1 year. How cool is that? If you want to get into all the fine details of the hosting plans, you can click Compare Plans, and it'll take you to this chart below. Or if you're really curious about the other types of hosting at HostGator, you can hover on hosting and check out their website builder or WordPress hosting. WordPress hosting, however, I don't recommend today because it's a more fancy WordPress package with bells and whistles. And I just want us to do the most basic option that supports WordPress.org for the lowest price, which is the shared hosting, which we are seeing right here with the hatchling, baby, and business. And by the way, these plans aren't just basic, they are incredibly robust and amazing. A lot of the folks I help to get started with on WordPress right here on YouTube stay with a hatchling or baby plan forever, it seems. So that does it for comparing HostGator plans for today. Now we can move on to step 2 today, guys, which is getting a better discount. You'll see that the introductory offer that HostGator gives to the general public is listed in these little pricing slots below, $275 and $350 for example. However, I want to do you one better and get you an even better discount because you're going through my video here, and this is my way of saying thank you. To get the better discount, just bring your mouse up to the URL bar and delete that web-hosting part, leave in the / though, and just write in my name, which is Greg, and hit enter. At that point, you should be redirected to our special hosting discount page for Dear Blogger. That's my main blog. Great, guys. So this is our special exclusive discount page here at HostGator. We can see that are welcoming readers of our blog, and even though you're probably just on the YouTube channel, you can check out the blog too if you have time later. And this page is great because you get all the features of the normal HostGator plans, and it's all at a lower price. So $264 per month is awesome. That's the lowest price right here, and you click Get Started, and then you get to choose between those same hatchling, baby, or business plans. Super cool. And if by chance this page looks different in the future, sometimes they change the layout. It used to have a swamp in the background with alligators in it, which were really pretty and cool. But if they change it or they move things around, don't worry. The use of it and the function is still the same. It's just to get you a increased discount. All right, so we're going to move forward and grab that hatchling plan because we just want to run one single website for now. So let's click Buy Now. Okay, folks, so here we are. It's step 3 now. We are going to go through the HostGator order form. Used to be called the HostGator order wizard. In any case, it's super easy. You have step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then 7. And then once we check out, we'll be taken to the screen where we install WordPress together. It's going to be super easy and fast. I just want to make sure that you get all your settings in here perfectly. So if you have a few minutes, let's walk through together. All right, step 1, choose a domain name. My favorite part, we get to do it first. You can either register a new domain name that you've thought up, or you can click I already own this domain and enter in a domain name that you already got from somewhere like GoDaddy.com. So pretty cool. You can use a domain name from elsewhere and then connect it with HostGator hosting, and WordPress will work great. In our case, guys, we're going to register a new domain name because I know a lot of you are totally new customers and want to create your WordPress blogger website from scratch. So let's enter in a domain name right here. I'm going to go with how to install WP at HostGator. And when I hit that period, it'll pop down the .com dropdown and gives us all sorts of extensions that you could add to your website name, like .tech, .space, .club, .info. You get the picture. You can do all of them, and once you choose one, it'll show you the prices. Just a few tips for picking the best domain name, guys. It's good to keep it as brief as possible with no dashes or crazy symbols. Numbers are okay if it's something kind of cute like Refinery 59 or something, but generally just words are the best. And with those words, 2-word combos have been extremely popular over the past decade. You can choose related word combos like Home Depot or TripAdvisor, or you can choose unrelated 2-word combos like YouTube or Facebook, for example, and obviously we know how it's gone for those companies. I've obviously violated that 2-word rule, but that's just because I'm trying to make this as easy as possible of a video and website for everyone to find. And I do recommend going with the .com if it's your first one, guys, because it's the most recognizable, meaning when people think of your website, they're just going to look up whatever you tell them, .com, and you'll get the most money for your domain name if it has a .com, and you want to sell your blog or website to a bigger company someday. Also, if you can't think of a domain name, your first name, last name is an excellent choice. If you ever become a famous influencer, you're going to absolutely need to own your first name, last name.com so that someone else can't mess with you online. Next, in the domain privacy protection, you can click that if you want. That's just going to be a little bit more money down below, but that will make sure that your domain name isn't available in places where you might have your phone number or email address shared, which could potentially lead to spam. I don't usually get domain privacy when I create my websites because I generally trust people, but just as long as you know it's there. All right, onwards to step 2, guys. We get to choose our hosting plan, which in our case is just the hatchling. And for billing cycle, this part's actually pretty important. Make sure you choose the right billing cycle for you, which means how long you're going to pay for your web hosting up front. As we can see, as you choose longer and longer periods, the discount does go up. And for some reason, I've found that the best option for so many of us, myself included when I first started out, is the 12 months option. Now, I like the 12 months option because that's about how long it took me to learn how to make money blogging and churn a profit. If I hadn't stuck with it for that long, I never would have known what's possible, wouldn't have been able to quit my job, live in New York City, and start a life for me and my loved ones and my pets. So that's just what I recommend. And as we can see, it's really cool. HostGator gives us a 60% off discount for doing the 12 months instead of the 6 months. All right, but you can choose whichever billing cycle you want. And now it's time to create our HostGator account. Okay, guys, we're just going to type in an email here. I'm going to blur out some of this info eventually, but I just want to walk you through as much as I can right now. All right, so pop in the best email, which you can obviously open up because you'll have some important links sent from HostGator to that email. Go ahead and drop in a password, make it super secure, and a security pin, which is just 4 numbers of your choosing. Then go ahead and drop in a security pin, which is just 4 numbers of your choosing. And we'll move on to step 4, enter your billing info. All right, guys, so we're gonna enter in our billing info now. We're gonna get our hosting package set up. And all this is entirely secure, just like if you were to make a purchase on apple.com, ebay.com, amazon.com, or wherever you like to do your online shopping. Company is optional. Just give it a second and make sure you get all your info in correctly so that you don't have to go back and redo it. All right, guys, for payment type, you can do credit card like I usually do, or choose PayPal. For some international users, I know PayPal is best. And you might want to do a tax exemption ID if you have one, but not necessary. We're going to do credit card though, so I can get those points. All right, and I'm going to blank this one out just so no one can go on a big shopping spree for their next birthday on my credit card. Although if we ever do meet up in person, I'm happy to grab you a coffee or a drink if you would like. All right, and with that entered, let's scroll down. And we're going to hit step 5 really quick, add additional services, or in our case, just remove the additional services. We're on a shoestring budget, like I said before, and you can add all this stuff in later on if you contact HostGator's award-winning live chat feature. Okay, so get those boxes unchecked, and we're on to step 6, which I've heard is really hard for people because they don't have a coupon code and they keep guessing and they're like, what am I gonna do? I wanna get a discount. So people are trying all sorts of stuff like summer 2021, blah, blah, blah. In our case, we don't have to worry about any of that because we already have Bigbonus entered, which is the best HostGator coupon code available. I know it's the best because we've been signing up people for so many years, and HostGator's been able to give us a huge discount because so many people have signed up and because people like you continue to use the video. So I really hope that this discount works for you, and all I can say is thank you. By the way, guys, if you do use my special HostGator.com/Greg link, and or my coupon, I do receive a small commission from HostGator that comes at no cost to you, and that just helps me keep making free videos for everyone and keep helping you guys with every question you might have for free in the comments. All right, guys, so we got Bigbonus in there. It's not case sensitive, by the way, and make sure you click that validate button. We're gonna go to step 7 now and review our order details, and then in the next step, we're gonna install WordPress for free. All right, guys, so reviewing your order details, you get the 24/7, 365 phone, live chat, email support for free, and HostGator really does respond at any time. They are awesome, and they've helped me figure out huge and small problems. Like one time I wanted to move an entire website onto a different domain name, and they helped me do it and stayed with me as long as I needed. Worked out great for this one hotel company. You get instant account activation for free, so your account will be live once we hit checkout. Money back guarantee, you get that for 45 days, super long period. So if you decide at any point you don't want to make your blog or website, you don't want to stick with it, and you don't want to maybe become a professional blogger like I am, that's totally fine. You can do that for up to 45 days with the cancellation, so there's really no risk at all. You get our domain registration, which is how to install WordPress. Well, it'll be whatever you picked. And that is not $17.99, that is free. So right away you can tell all your friends you got a discount that most people don't get when they make their first blog or website. Then we're getting our hatchling plan for 12 months. It's discounted at 60% like we saw above. So instead of $107.40, it's 60% off for $42.96. That is the lowest price I've seen in all my years of making HostGator videos. So I'm so stoked and excited for you. That means our subtotal is irrelevant, because that subtotal is just looking at what the numbers would be without the discount. The discount is obviously here. It's a huge number. Estimated tax is 0, so that's awesome. I know taxes are kind of going up sometimes, but not at HostGator today. And the amount due is just $42.96. It's going to be good for your hosting and your domain name for 1 whole year. One calculation I like doing for people if they're still unsure about the pricing is to pop open a calculator and do that number, 42.96 divided by 12. So that's what it comes out to a month to run an amazing website like the pros, just like Katy Perry, Beyonce, pinch of yum, Zoella, all these people run amazing WordPress sites, and you can too and be on the same level playing field. So I think it's amazing that you can get your website live for about the cost of a cup of coffee per month. Go ahead and just make that coffee instead of going to Starbucks one time a month, and this thing will pay for itself. All right, guys, with that covered, if you have any more questions, please post them in the comments right now. I'll try to get to them within a half hour's time because I know you're on this screen ready to get going and you want everything perfect. So please ask me any questions and I'll try to answer them wherever I am, from my phone even. If you're all set though, I'm ready too. Let's go ahead and check this box right here that we've read the terms and service. You can go ahead and read them later if you'd like. And now we're gonna go ahead and click checkout now. And in the next step, we're going to be in the HostGator control panel area, and we're going to go ahead and install WordPress. All right, so I'm super excited. Let's do it together. Boom. All right, guys and gals, welcome to the HostGator onboarding screen. There's plenty of resources here, but I know you're probably excited just to get your website up and going. So let's click Get Started. Now HostGator is simply creating your WordPress account. All right, congratulations, your WordPress account is ready. We have a username and a password and a WordPress login link. Super cool, guys. In the olden days, you had to do an extra step and go through quick install the WordPress installer at HostGator to install WordPress. Now they've made it even easier for us with less clicks, and all you need to do is either visit this link and use the admin password to log in, or just click Go to WordPress. Just so we don't lose that password, I'm going to go ahead and click Copy. So you should do that too. And now let's try that Go to WordPress button. And if you get the Your connection is not private error, don't worry at all. It's just because your WordPress site is so new, the browser is like not sure what's going on. This should go away in a matter of minutes, maybe an hour at the most. But if you want to proceed right away, click Advanced and then just click Proceed to your website. And because our URL is not found yet, it just means we have to give HostGator a few more minutes because our WordPress files are settling into place. And if for some reason you click Checkout Now and HostGator brought you to this screen, or you just clicked back or something, there's nothing to worry about. This is your HostGator portal. And from this screen, you can actually install WordPress as a new WordPress user, or you can install more WordPress sites when you make your second and third website. So to get WordPress from this screen, all you have to do is click Hosting. All right, and then we're going to click to cPanel, which is where web designers go and set up WordPress or email accounts, stuff like that. cPanel is the older way of doing it, but HostGator has always kept cPanel, and I'm really happy about that. So from here, you just go down to Software and click WordPress Manager by Softaculous. And then you will just click on the install. As we can see, ours actually installed without doing anything. It just gave us WordPress, right away. It set up our WordPress site for us at HostGator, and everything's up to date. You can manage it here. But if this didn't work for you, you can install manually. You can just click Install, and you'll use this little Softaculous quick install option. All you would do is choose your domain name from this dropdown. You can leave this part just HTTPS. Choose that domain name here. Make sure to leave this directory box blank, and then you can get your WordPress version. Obviously, you're going to want the most up-to-date version, and then just click on the quick install, and it'll run its little setup, and then your WordPress blog will be installed, and you can go ahead and log in just a moment by typing in your domain name and then entering in a /wp-admin after it. Okay, but we don't need to do this because HostGator got our WordPress site all set up for us without this step. They saved us a step. However, you should know about this because this is where you'll install other WordPress sites in the future when you start your own WordPress empire. Okay. All right, guys, so if you click on that Go to WordPress button and get any sort of error like we just did, not to worry. If you followed all the steps in the video right now, then you'll be just fine. Simply put, it's a good time to take a break and let your WordPress files settle into place. So I actually just took a nice 45-minute jog, and that's why I'm gonna hop out of the screen here because I'm kind of sweaty and not looking my finest. But in any case, we've let WordPress take its time, and now we can go ahead and log in the old-fashioned way, which everyone does, every professional WordPress web designer does, and that's just to write your domain name.com/wp-admin, and then go ahead and put in your username and password. So we're going to write out our domain name in a new tab, put the / after the .com or .net or whatever you have, and then do wp-admin and hit enter. And I'd be very surprised if you didn't get to the official WordPress login screen like this. All right, so they gave us an admin username and a password I'm going to paste in. I'm also going to click remember me, and I'm going to bookmark this link here to save us time in the future. All right, very good, and we'll click login for our very first time. All right, beautiful. Welcome to WordPress, guys. This is your dashboard. And one of the hardest things for me when I started with WordPress was understanding that this is where you edit the site. And if you click on your site title in this upper left corner, it's just going to take you to how your site looks to the rest of the world, except for anyone who visits your site, and the rest of the world won't see this black bar. This is what you see when you're logged in. So you get those editing links like new post, new page, new user, and so on and so forth. So our site is wearing the default theme of the year right now. Every year, the WordPress team from Automatic comes out with a new theme. It's usually pretty basic, yet subtly really impressive. And yeah, if you want to build your site with this theme, I don't blame you. You could actually click on this post right here, and then you can click edit post, and you'll be taken to the WordPress block editor right here, which is a front end editor. I'm just gonna X out of this, meaning you get to like edit the post as you would see it. That's what a front end editor does. However, the thing is, a lot of people will be using this theme because a lot of people like you are installing WordPress. I know we're super clever, but a lot of other people have also caught on to WordPress. They've left from Tumblr and Blogger and come over here. So because of that, I want us to have a really unique look that surprises everyone and makes people think, oh my gosh, you built that? And not just that you're any other WordPress site. And for that reason, we're going to change your WordPress theme. To change your theme, just get out of this screen here, and we're going to get out of it by clicking on the WordPress logo. Okay, so now it'll take us to our list of posts, and we don't want this stock post, so we can trash the post. Now we're going to change the look of our site, which is, of course, the theme. All right, guys, so it is time to change our WordPress themes, and I guarantee you're going to be amazed at how much our site changes right away and how much you can build. So we obviously have the default theme right here from 2021 or whatever year you are watching the video. And to change our theme, we're going to go to the upper left, click over to the dashboard, and now we're going to scroll down to appearance. You can just hover on appearance and click themes. So here's our list of themes that are currently installed on your WordPress site. Your list might look a little different than mine because I downloaded Simple Catch to play with it. But in any case, you can always get themes back, which are free, by getting them through the WordPress theme library, just like we're going to get our theme today. If you want to delete a theme, you can just click on it and delete in the lower right corner, and that will save some space on your site. All right, so now let's get our new theme. We can just click on this huge box that turns blue and click the plus sign. And even though we're going to use the Virtue theme, so you could look up the Virtue theme on the internet through Google, and it lives on the Cadence WP site because they created it for us. Super awesome of them. Thank you, Cadence WP. Even though it's right there, we can actually get it through the WordPress theme library, which is what I'm referring to right here. So all you need to do is click Search Themes and type in Virtue. And there she is. Now we're just going to hover on it, and we can preview too if you want. Although sometimes the preview doesn't come up that great because the preview is just like a very limited upload of the theme. So don't worry about the preview. We actually just want to install it. So let's click Install, and now we can activate it. And then we can start building the site so it looks just like the demo right here on the Cadence site. Okay, so now our new theme is active. The other ones are still just chilling here. And if you want to see how your WordPress site changed, just click to the front end. And voila, kind of cool. So you already have some content up. It's already looking a lot more like an actual real professional website. All right, guys, and for your reference, I'm going to keep the Virtue free demo here on my screen and keep it in the browser tabs so that we can refer back to it and actually create everything you see here. Because I know a lot of the times when you see a theme, you just want to make everything you see, and it's really hard because the WordPress teacher doesn't show you how to do it. Well, that won't be the case here. We're going to learn how to create all this. And a great place to start creating here is to go to the meat and potatoes of our site, which is the plugins. So let's go to the dashboard. And let's make sure your site is equipped with all the right plugins, including our e-commerce plugin. So we're going to click plugins. All right, and now we're going to do a little cleanup too. We're going to add and delete plugins, and I'll explain to you what they all mean. All right, so Akismet is our anti-spam protector. It makes sure that your spam comments don't get published right away and someone can't attack you with spam. We're going to activate that. Now we can just click set up your Akismet account, and it'll take you through to this little WordPress.com sort of page here. All you need to do is get the personal option and then fill in your email and your details here. Then a little trick here, just drag this bar to 0 and pop in your email and your first name, last name, and site, and you'll continue with the personal subscription to block spam for free. Okay, back to plugins. We're going to keep Classic Editor activated because that gives us the old school WordPress editor for posts and pages that we all fell in love with so long ago. Hello Dolly just puts a little WordPress quote in the upper right corner of our screen. Usually over here, I don't really see it right now, and we're going to delete that one just so we have less weight and less fluff. Jetpack I'm going to deactivate because that's a plugin that connects with WordPress.com features. It can be good for speed and security, but we prefer to do that a different way. And we'll delete Jetpack. Okay. For increased speed, I recommend setting up your own CDN or content delivery network. And for security, I recommend activating your free SSL, which comes with HostGator WordPress packages and gives you that padlock up here. So we actually deleted Mojo Marketplace real quickly right there. I'm not sure how that didn't record, but I recommend you deactivate and delete that one too because it's just another WordPress theme store and we already have our theme. And then I'm going to deactivate Opt-in Monster as well, and we will delete that one. Opt-in Monster is actually a great way to set up pop-ups on your site. For example, when someone's about to leave, if you want a pop-up to come up asking them to subscribe with their email address, and when they do, they'll get a coupon for 25% off your store, for example, then you can set up that sort of pop-up with Opt-in Monster. But we don't need that today. We're just keeping it simple. All right, and lastly, we're going to deactivate and delete WP Forms Lite, because we have a different forms plugin. So deactivate and delete that one. Super simple. So now you should really just have Akismet and Classic Editor. And now let's add some plugins. So the first one we're going to do, we come up to the top and we got to click Add New. And we're going to add Contact Form 7. Contact Form 7 lets you set up really easy contact forms. Just like this one right here, you can add your own fields, customize it, and make forms for as many websites as you want. So just putting in contact brings up Contact Form 7. That's how popular it is. It's definitely the most used one with 5 million active installations. So let's grab it, install it, and activate. And you're really getting some awesome popular plugins here to supercharge your site. Speaking of popular plugins, why don't we grab our e-commerce plugin right now, which is going to set up all the pages we need, like account, shop, cart, and so on and so forth. So you might have thought you had to make those pages by scratch and do some coding. Well, you should be happily surprised you don't. So let's click Add New and search for just Woo. And there's WooCommerce. So I'm not sure why it's called WooCommerce. It always reminded me of like a cow, but that's what it's called and everyone uses it. And it's actually really involved as a plugin. It's going to take us along this setup wizard and make sure we have all the features to convert any blogger website into an e-commerce site. And somehow it's free. So that's how wonderful WordPress is. Let's click that Install Now button. And by the way, thanks to Automatic for making and managing WooCommerce. They are the founders of WordPress, and we'll activate it. Welcome to WooCommerce, it says, and it's just going to ask you a few basic questions about your new online store. So I'm just going to type this stuff in, and then we can continue. And if you're making this for a client, you can check this box, and maybe they'll give you some other recommendations to help your client. And continue. And we're going to go with the non-sharing data thing, just because I think our data is shared enough these days. No thanks. All right, it asks us which industry our store operates in. So we can go ahead and give some categories. We're definitely doing fashion. And that should be it for now. We might have some food and drink for the events that we want to run in the future. Or things like smoothies. You know, everyone would like to start a smoothie store, right? Go ahead and choose whichever boxes apply to you, and then we'll continue. All right, we're gonna have physical products, and why not set up downloads too in case we want to sell an ebook. And then if you want to sell these other options, they will ask you to pay a little bit per month to get, let's see what they offer. Let customers subscribe to your products or services and pay on a weekly, monthly, or annual basis. So to set up this kind of store for maybe memberships or subscriptions, WooCommerce is going to offer you these add-ons. But in our case, we don't need to at the moment. But if you're just going to sell things like hats and t-shirts and some food, maybe some ebooks like we are, we don't need to pay it. So we'll click continue. All right, how many products do you plan to display? I'm just going with 1 to 10 and say no and continue. All right, what are the recommended business features? Those would be credit cards, print labels, automated sales tag, enhanced speed and security with Jetpack. All right, so there's access for more stuff. But what's going to happen if you add all these is it's going to clutter up our plugins list. These are all just additional plugins, and you're going to have so many different plugins, you won't know like which one's doing what. So I like keeping things simple, and I really strongly recommend that we don't do the business features. And instead, if we want one of these later on, we can just install it a la carte and then learn how to use it, because otherwise it's going to get really messy. So uncheck that, and now we'll continue. All right, choose a theme screen. We already picked our theme, so I'm going to scroll to the bottom and skip this step. Okay, so the Jetpack plugin is really aggressive, and if you get this screen right here, you don't need to sign up. Let's just go back. And we'll just try to do this step again, where we actually just skip this step. Sometimes if it thinks Jetpack is on our site or was on our site, it's going to tell us to use it. All right, so that worked great, guys. Welcome to your WooCommerce Store's online HQ. So we're going to go to next. Personalized inbox, cool. A lot of this stuff is kind of unnecessary. All right, so for free, you're going to get stats to improve performance, sales, revenues, goals, etc. Good to know. Let's click Let's Go. And we're ready to start selling. So on this screen, you can add products, set up payments, set up tax, shipping, personalize. They're sort of just giving you all your options in an easy to use place. And if you click Add My Products, it's going to take you through this manual wizardy sort of process. But what we're actually going to do in a second is add the products manually. And if you click that, it'll just take us to a new product screen. So super cool. We're going to come here in a second. This is just like a new blog post or a new page, but it's a new product screen. So it has some other features like regular price, sale price, and all this other stuff that we'll learn about. So actually at the moment, I want us just to click back to WooCommerce. And when you click on WooCommerce, you can see it takes us back to this nice screen. Super cool. I just want us to finish installing plugins right now, and then we can set up our products. So the WooCommerce plugin is done. Congratulations. Back in plugins, you should just have 4 nice and neat plugins. If for some reason WordPress convinced you to add other plugins, then they might be below WooCommerce. They might be related to WooCommerce, but this is all we really need. So I hope that your screen looks exactly like mine, or at least somewhat like mine. And we can proceed. I have 2 more plugins, ideally exactly like mine, so no one gets lost. And I have 2 more plugins I want you to grab right now. So the next one I want us to add is called Smush. We can click Add New. And Smush will make sure your images are more condensed, but still look great and take up less space on your product pages and your posts, so your site can run faster. So we're going to install Smush. That's the one with the superhero female right there. All right, great. We got 5 plugins now. And finally, I want to show you the old school way to add a plugin, which is to add new and upload it. So when I first started in WordPress in 2011, we were all uploading plugins. You click upload and you'd have to get the plugin from your computer. And to get the plugin on your computer, you'd have to download it from the web. So let's go ahead and look up a plugin called TF Social Share plugin for WordPress, which will give you social share buttons above and beneath your blog posts. That's right, we're going to add a blog. And sometimes to find the right plugin, you have to really dig deep, and I'm going to add the developer's name there because I know he made it. All right, and we're going to go to the wpfaves.com site and then click download. And I know this is the right site because there's the developer Kunal Chikar. All right, super cool. We had to do a little detective work hunting there to get this plugin. It's definitely going to be worth it. Let's save it. And now we're going to go to our site, and now we can choose the file and just click on the zip file. You can double click it if you want, or you can click it and do open and install now and activate plugin. All right, great job guys. You now should have 6 plugins, and all of our work installing and adding and deleting plugins is done. As your WordPress skills grow and grow over time, you'll surely add more plugins to this list when you want to just accomplish other features and do things that you dream up on your WordPress site. So I hope you have fun with that, and I'm always happy to tell you if a plugin is good or not, or if I've used it. All right guys, let's click to our site and see what we made so far. And we can see we have our amazing, beautiful Virtue theme here, but adding plugins doesn't really change the way your site looks in general. So those are just operating in the back end. Why don't we design our site now like a typical web designer would, from top to bottom and from left to right. And the first thing we can see that our site needs is a logo. So the Virtue demo has that really cool triangle logo. Just a couple shapes is often enough, but we can take it one step further and let's make our own logo at Logo Maker. That's Logo Maker without the e.com. All right, and when you're here, we're just gonna search for over 1 million graphics, and let's try clicking on abstract. And if abstract doesn't really do it for you, we can just search for an icon at the top. And I generally like going with themes that are beach themed. So I'm going to try beach. All right, cool. How about ocean? Because the ocean is a source of so much giving. We have so many resources in the ocean, just like in e-commerce in general. And now we're going to try multicolor. And so that would be more for like website icons where you want to represent one of your services or tools that's going on. And eventually you'll get something cool that should work for you. All right, don't drive yourself too mad looking at all the different logos. And some Greg Narayan WordPress advice I have for you is don't drive yourself too mad looking at different designs. Ideally, just pick something that represents some part of your brand or your domain or your site, which you could explain to someone who might want to work with you. So we are your WP destination, and in the logo maker, I think it would be cool to grab one of these little map-like destination markers, and it has the palm trees in it. So you don't need to go too crazy, just something that's relevant and has a cool story. Once you click an icon, it's going to come into your editor, and if you click 2, you can just delete one. Also, I think circular icons are really nice and clickable. Like almost every app on our iPhones or Androids has some form of circle in it, and it's just been proven to be clickable. So now we're going to go ahead and design here. We have this nice grid. You can basically just do whatever you want, and everything is really snappy and cool. Let's pop in a little bit of text. I'm just going to write out your WP destination. Okay. And why don't we make it all lowercase? Nope, actually we're going to go with like we had it before. We just want it to like stand out, you know. Okay, it looks good. If you want to add the .com or whatever on there just to be fancy, you can do that. I'm going to change the font by going to the top, and we can see we have a category of simple and modern, but I really like handwriting. So let's do that, and now we're going to get a different set of font families. And again, you don't have to spend too long thinking, but if this is going to be the brand that you use for several months or years, I guess make sure things really fit. Okay, I really like this kind of homemade, like home ec sort of design. Looks like handmade. And we can size our icon so that it fits the text, or you can size the text so it fits the icon. All right, let's get some more attractive colors here in our logo. We can click on the text and change the light blue using the color wheel on the right. Or if you have a specific 6-digit color hex, you can just paste that in right here. For example, on our Virtue site, I know that this dark blue up here, if I right click on it and inspect, just a little advanced WordPress trick, I know that I will get that color. All right, there we have it. All I needed to do was click on the top bar ID, as it's called, top bar, and there's our blue. So if you want to hack some codes from a website or your website and get the colors, you can do so now. Just right click on that hex, copy it, come back to Logo Maker and paste it in, and we get the blue. Awesome. Let's change the color of our icon now. Just click on that, and we can see it's black in the lower right corner. And we can just click and change. I'm feeling something like in the blue range, so we can have a lot of blues. Maybe some sort of light blue. Nice. And then if you want to get really fancy, you can click on the paint bucket, and then you can choose a different color like that, like a green for the trees. And then you can click on individual components like the palm trees and color them. And in this case, it's coloring certain leaves, which is actually pretty neat if you think about it. I just don't know if I can get in. Oh, there you go. Now I'm just hitting Command plus to make aspects of our logo bigger, or Command minus to make them smaller. And I can really get in there and style some more leaves on the palm tree. Cool. And if you want to go even crazier, maybe we can grab a brown and do the entire trunks. Okay, I love it, guys. Let's go Command minus and size it down a little bit. Now we can click back to the cursor to get our selector again. And when you're ready to publish, just make sure you use the grids to line things up so that the spacing of your logo isn't wonky. All right, and now let's go ahead and crop it. So we have to click crop so that there's not too much white space, and then drag it in because it's just guessing. All right, good. And now we are just gonna expand the left a little. And now just click enter or return to crop it. And click the floppy disk in the upper right to save it. And it's gonna say, hey, why don't you pay? But then we're like, no thanks. We're just gonna download the low resolution file. Awesome. So I'll call this logo palm trees version 1. Maybe we'll have more logos in the future. And save to our downloads. And before you're done, make sure to give credit to this logo. So for more information on how to give credit properly, visit this page. Click on that link. It's going to tell you how to give credit. If you're a website, what you need to write in a visible area of your site is created my free logo at logomaker.com. You can do that on a credits page or a footer. So right now I'm just going to make sure I copy this text. And then when we make pages in the future, make sure to make a page called credits and give credit as it explains right here on this site. For now, I'm just going to paste that into a note. All right, awesome work, guys. We have a logo made. Let's go ahead and put it up. Let's get out of this crazy inspect screen. And now to put up our logo, I'm going to take you to customize for the first time. Click on customize. And this is where a lot of WordPress edits have moved over time. They just live in customize. So what you want to do is just find the logo area. And it's a little different for different themes, but for Virtue, that should be in the main settings. Down in logo options, there's logo left, logo middle, logo a little bit to the other left, and we're going to go upload under logo. Select and double click our palm tree logo. Nice work. And then just go ahead and select it. And I hope it works. Awesome, it does. So our logo is up and running. Super cool. And if you scroll down, there's some more logo options. And this looks pretty good, so we're gonna publish it. And then go back. And I'm gonna open our site in a new tab because we're inspecting how it looks. Awesome, super cool. And by making that basic change, it got rid of our slider, which we're gonna learn how to get back. Next, while we're in the customize area, why don't we set up a navigation menu so people can actually get to your products or their cart or account page, etc. So to do that, we're going to go down to menu settings. And it says make sure Virtue Pinnacle Toolkit plugin is activated. So it looks like we need to track down one more plugin. So let's go back and X out of here to get back to our main dashboard. And fortunately, I already found this Virtue Pinnacle Toolkit plugin online for us. I'll leave you a link below in the description to download it. I'm just going to click download here from plugins room and save it. And then back in our dashboard area, go to the dashboard and you guessed it, plugins, add new, upload plugin, choose file. All right, grab our Virtue Toolkit and install now. All right, and activate. Okay, so now your WordPress site's got even more powerful because when we hover on appearance, we now have theme options, which we didn't have before we installed that plugin. So let's click on theme options. And now, super cool, we get this custom Virtue area. And it's going to recommend we install Cadence blocks, which works with the WordPress block editor. But we don't use the block editor too much, so we're going to try to make do without that. Let's come down, and we can see we have all sorts of different settings now. Don't be overwhelmed though, as is the case with everything in WordPress. Just build what we need to create right now, and we can figure out the rest later. Okay, so here's our logo. Super cool. And it looks like they've basically taken some customized settings and put them on this convenient Virtue theme options page for us. All right, so for now, we can check out the menu settings. And in this area, we'll see that there's fonts, sizes, so you can really customize everything to your heart's content. There's also the mobile menu option, but we just need to create an old-fashioned WordPress menu so we have something to work with here. So I'm going to open up our Appearance Menus tab, which is just the default way that people have been making WordPress menus forever. All right, this page can be a little confusing at first, but bear with me, it'll all make sense. Let's give our menu a name. So I'm just going to call this main menu and then just create it. Okay, now we have the option to add pages to our menu. We can see in our Virtue demo, they have home, portfolio, features, blog, shop, and download. Now we don't need features because we don't want all those icons, and we don't need download because that's just suggesting you download the theme. Let's get ourselves home, portfolio, blog, and shop. All right, so back in menu, we can add shop. And actually that's all we can add right now to our main menu. So let's go ahead and click add to menu. And shop is the only item we want to add to this main menu location. So let's just choose primary navigation, which will be this area over here, offset to the right, which is where most menu items go. And we're going to save menu. Okay, great. So now if we refresh our site by clicking on the logo, which I like doing, we'll have a button for shop. So things are working, we're doing great. Adding that home link to the menu actually confuses a lot of people, but that's just a custom link. So if we scroll down in menus and click custom links, we can actually just make our own menu links from scratch. Let's call it home and let's copy the link right here at the top to our home page. And then we're gonna pop that in the URL, just paste it over this HTTPS blah, blah, blah. All right, and add to menu. And then to rearrange the menu tabs, just click and hold and drag. And if you wanted to make a dropdown, you just indent them. All right, so we're learning a ton about menus. We're gonna need to make a separate page for the portfolio and blog because those aren't set up by default. But we can finish off our menu by adding the top bar menu items like my account. So if you're wondering how to add those items to the top bar like my account, let's just go back to menus and we need to create a new menu. Make sure you save your first one. And now we can create a new menu with this link and we'll call it top bar just to be really redundant. All right, and create it again. And now we need to add the my account and add a menu. All right, and we can see that that should be capitalized. So to change the text on a menu item, just click the arrow to open it up and go ahead and edit the text, which is the navigation label. And if the menu item doesn't appear, it just means that you probably forgot to choose the menu settings location. So we'll choose top bar and save it, and voila. Cool. So now you know how to add menu items and add menu items to the top bar. Our site's looking at least a little bit more like the demo site, and we can add more menu items as we move along. Okay guys, so let's keep designing our homepage, and of course you're gonna wanna get that image slider back because this thing is gorgeous. And then we want the other things on the homepage, of course. But right now, we just have latest posts. So how do we actually get a real homepage and not just this blog sort of homepage? Let's go back to the dashboard and make sure we saved our menus. And now we're gonna come to theme options again. And then let's head over to home layout. Okay, so in this section, we can choose how our sidebar is. So if there's a sidebar or not. And right now we have the widescreen, so there's no sidebar, which is great. We can now choose a sidebar, but we're not gonna allow one, so we'll just stick with that. And in the home layout manager, we're gonna decide what's enabled on the homepage. So all you need to do is just drag items over to the enabled side. All right, let's just put all of them in and let's save it and see what happens. All right, now we can go to our homepage and let's refresh it. All right, awesome. So it gave us a few things. We don't really have blog posts yet though, so it's not sure what to do with them. And this would be an icon, but we don't have icons yet. Don't worry, we'll get there. So let's just keep on building. I really want to get rid of this latest post things here. So in theme options, let's try to get rid of the page title. Disable that and save changes. Refresh the site. And we did it. Awesome. So now obviously our homepage needs our image slider carousel back. That got deleted somehow when we made some changes to theme options. So let's go to home slider settings, and all for free, we get to choose a type of home image slider, which is awesome. This is something that people usually pay for with a premium plugin, but we have all these custom sliders baked into our theme. So what do you want? Why don't we try a flex slider? That sounds cool. All right, and then for slider images, just gonna click and open it up. And here's where we need some images for our site. So you might have like large splash images that you've taken with your iPhone or Android or a professional photographer. But in our case, because this is just an educational tutorial. Okay, awesome. And magically with the snap of a finger, our images have arrived. Please find them below in the description. I'm gonna click upload. And if this is your first time uploading an image to WordPress, all you need to do is go to upload files because media library is what's already inside your WordPress. And then click select files to grab a file from your computer or maybe from a hard drive attached to your computer. All right, let's open up our hard drive, and here is our folder of awesome e-commerce photos. And conveniently, we have 3 of them, perfect for a slider. Slider 1, 2, and 3. And I'll tell you this right now, the images that are in the website for the demo of Virtue, those are simply images with some text written on top of them. So if we use an image like this, then what Virtue did is they used an online tool to add text on top of it. So it might be like confusing. You think it's like WordPress that puts the text on top, but they actually pre-made their images for the slider on the Virtue demo. So I'm gonna give you a few images to try out. And please note, this is just an educational video, so don't necessarily use these images or anything on a professional site. You really don't have permission to do that. You just have permission to use them to learn how to make a slider. That said, I'll show you how to put some text on top of a slider image. So we're gonna open up another tool we're learning about in this video called Pixlr.com. That's Pixlr.com. And then hover on this little 4 dots here and click on Pixlr X. All right, we're gonna open an image here, and we're gonna open one of the slider images that we wanna edit. All right, here we go. Slider image, and we're gonna go with slider image 1 and open it. And we'll learn how to add some text just like the Virtue demo. So clearly they went with a bold, all caps text, and then a more subtle lowercase text above and beneath it. So let's go ahead and do that. We can click the T to add text. And the cool thing is there's these like pre-made text sets like
you can instantly get some kind of cool, maybe for your next promotional banner or flyer, something like that. But for now, we just want to keep it simple and professional. We'll add the text, and we're going to go with the blue button, which gives us all sorts of fonts. And now we just need to write out some basic copy that can promote our brand. So let's drag it over and write it out. And I'm going to go with some actionable wording here. It's always good to make use of the right verbs. So in our case, we're trying to encourage people to enjoy this e-commerce experience. So we're going to use things like sell beautiful products. We're going to make that all caps. All right, cool. To increase the text size, just come down on the left panel and drag the size up. All right, and if you must use a white font, that's fine. You can always take advantage of the outline. So just come down and check the outline. Now you can choose the outline color. And I usually like either going with something from the image or clicking on the three dots or clicking on the color selector and then clicking on the eyedropper and grabbing a color from the image itself. So it's kind of cool. We can make use of a blue, and then we just have to make our outline size bigger. And you can also like blur it out or stuff like that. You can put a shadow on it. If you don't have a ton of graphic design experience, this can actually be quite of a headache to create. So I recommend just playing around as much as you can and get a second opinion from one of your friends that you know is into this sort of thing. I think another font could be perfect. However, some are premium and we're on a budget. So just go ahead and play around with the free options to your heart's content. All right, we can try Carvino, Coast Redwood. Some fonts are just a little bit too cool that they're distracting. You know, we just want something that's not going to take away too much, but add to our look rather. And why don't we try getting rid of that white text, and let's actually do a totally black text by putting in 6 zeros in the hex and then changing the outline to actually a white. That's pretty cool. And all right, screw it, guys. I was going to try to wrap one of these crazy fonts, but I don't have a great eye for it. So let's just go with something that everyone likes, like Arial. Awesome. And then we're actually going to copy it and hit Command Paste again. Okay, and I think we've worked on this image so much, I'm just getting sick of it now. So let's go ahead and save it. All right, we're going to do this slider image 1 with text. I always like going descriptive on my image titles. It can be tempting just to write down anything, but then it might be hard to find them later on. So then we'll download it. So let's slide that quality up to 100 and download. All right, and save it. Very cool. Now we're going to go back to our dashboard here where we have our theme options open. Remember, we were in slider images and we were going to upload. So we'll select that file now, which is on our computer, and we're going to open it up. Should be in the folder that we were working on. And if it's not, then it might be in our downloads. All right, so sometimes things might go to your downloads depending on where you have your files positioned on your computer. Let's open up that first one and select it. All right, and save the changes. And we're just gonna have one slider image right now. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and repeat that process on Pixlr with the other images I'm providing you with. And that way it'll save a little bit of time for you. In the meanwhile, when we refresh our site, we can see we now have a beautiful flex slider on, and it actually found another image to use. Nope, it just found a white rectangle. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and create a couple more images that can match our brand, and I'll be right back with those. Thanks so much, guys. All right, and back in Pixlr, I actually wanted to show you guys a little trick for your graphic design. If you've just edited and perfected an image like this that we just did, well, I don't know if it's perfect, but you can actually put another image behind it and keep using the same text styles that you had just created. All you got to do is go to this image for add image on the left and browse, and then go ahead and bring in another slider image like number 3, and boom, the image will just populate behind the text. So now we can just easily write in our new text and customize it to our heart's content. All right, so just a little graphic design there trick to save time for you guys and minimize your workflow. So let's save it. And we're gonna call this number 3 with text. Pop that quality up to 100. I'm not sure why it's defaulted at 90, and download. And save it. And then we just have one more image to work with. Let's just hit that add image one more time and browse, and we're gonna get our slider image number 2, which I wasn't totally sure about because I chose an image for you guys with a bunch of dresses and ladies on it. But if we reposition it, you might be able to get a good result. All right, awesome work, guys. And as you can tell, I spent a ton of time thinking about that copywriting. Okay, let's get our text centered and let's save it. This would be number 2 with text, although the number doesn't really matter. And quality on a hundo, and download and save. All right, let's go back to our dashboard and let's get those other 2 slider images up. So we have, what's going on here? We're gonna click the other plus. All right, so that's our first one. And click the second plus and upload. Upload files, remember, select files. And head to our downloads where we got our little projects from pixlr.com. And we can select 2 of them at once. WordPress can do a bulk image upload, and click open. Awesome work, guys. It's really coming together. And we can only select one image with that blue check mark. So whichever one you want in the second slot, and select it and close it. And then we're going to add slide again. So it's so cool. Like, I swear most WordPress themes need a premium plugin that you pay for to add all these slides, but we don't need that at all. We're just going to do it all for free. Our third graphic, and we don't actually need to upload it. We just need to click the upload button, and it's already in our media library. So select it and select it. Close that slide and save changes. And now when we refresh our site, there should be no white placeholder rectangle. Instead, it should just be 3 awesome images we created ourselves. So super cool. I'm so proud of it. Great job, guys. All right, guys, so I want to try a little experiment now because I know we need some content in the middle of our page. And I know that when we look at the demo for Virtue, they have the featured products, latest from the blog, then the icons, and then the footer. But what if we want like a welcome to the website area where you can talk about your mission statement and stuff like that? Also, it could be a good area to put in some custom products that you want, because if you have like hats or shirts or something, you want people to see that on the homepage, obviously. So it's a little bit late at night. You might hear the crickets now, but these videos do take several days and weeks even to make. So there's no point slowing down because I know you need to make an e-commerce website and set up your online store right away. So we're going to get the homepage layout manager opened up. And I want to take advantage of this thing called page content. What is page content, right? So on our site, there's really no page content right now. But what if we take advantage of making our homepage an actual page like we do in other WordPress videos? And I'll show you what we mean. So we're going to go to pages. And at this point, we're going to add some new pages along with the ones that WooCommerce made for us right here. So let's click add new. And we're going to make one called homepage. And I know that sounds crazy because our homepage is already made, but bear with me. It's a little web designer trick to get a little more customization out of your site, which we all want. And I'm just going to publish it just as homepage. Okay, at the same time, we're going to click add new, and we're going to make a blog page. So we are not only learning how to make new pages, but we're learning how to set up more features on the homepage using our Virtue options. So we're just going to publish a blank blog page. Again, bear with me. It's like a little trick that I learned back in the early WordPress days. It still works really good. And then add new one more time. And why don't we just add that portfolio while we're at it and publish. Okay, awesome. We've added our new pages. Now we're going to go to our settings. Hover on settings and we're going to click on reading. And so if your homepage displays your latest posts as it's checked right now, that's a typical blog format. So that's how like most of the famous WordPress blogs, like you might read, like Tim Ferriss' blog or Zoella, are perhaps laid out. But if your homepage displays a static page, that's where WordPress becomes a website, because your static page can show off images, galleries. It's just a full width page usually that talks about a product or what your services are. So way more of a website feel with this second one. So once we select that, we can say the home page needs to be the home page and the post page needs to be the blog. So now there's a separate page that is our blog instead of your home page displaying your latest posts, aka your home page being a blog. And we'll save it. Awesome. Okay, so now let's refresh our site. And nothing really changed except for we have a little bit of different features here. We have the social media plugin that we set up, which is now above some content. And it looks like those other blog features went away. So we don't have like a ton of posts. We just have like one post, and then when we make another post, it'll come in next to it. So it's a lot more simplified, which is good. And if we go to edit page, which is the new button we now have, edit page, we can go ahead and say something, I believe, like, hi world, welcome to my online store, and update it. And that should show up on the homepage because now we have a WordPress homepage. So we're going to view it. And there we go. So now we can write our own content and put whatever we want on the homepage, like videos, products. Super fun. And when we go to the blog page, it's going to show our posts. So we'll have a separate page, which is a list of blog posts that will add to blog posts when you write new ones. So how about that? We can also add new pages to the menu now and update our menu. Let's hover on the site title and go to menus. And super cool, we're going to have the portfolio. And now we can click view all and click blog and portfolio. So most recent is good, but not great. View all is the best. Add to menu. And now we can arrange it a little bit more like the demo site was. So portfolio, blog, shop, download, portfolio, blog, shop, and we did it. And save menu, of course, on our primary navigation. All right, so now our menu is looking a lot better, and we can put whatever we want on the homepage. Great job. All right, guys, so it's finally time to add our products, and I couldn't be more excited. We're gonna go to under WooCommerce where you see products. And as promised, I have 3 products lined up for you. They are a hat, a t-shirt, and an ebook download. And instead of going with this create product option, we're just gonna go to add new. And beautiful, here we are on the standard WooCommerce new product screen. So the first product we do will be a simple one. It's just gonna be the sports hat for everyone who wants to sell a hat in honor of a cause, just like my buddy Jeff did to save the golf course. And there's a little paragraph here, which kind of looks like a blog post, but it's not. It's just gonna be a description of the product. So I'm just gonna write something simple. Okay, then you can just scroll down and knock off a few of the basic details. Regular price, let's go with 25. And if you want to put a sale price, enter it right there. Now this product is a simple product, and there are 4 types of products in WooCommerce, which may confuse you at first. We don't often use these grouped products or external affiliate products, but simple and variable are where it's at. And then a short description. I'm gonna make a little bulleted list here, just as you might see some features on Amazon. And of course you can gather reviews with your product. Just go to screen options at the top. And of course you can gather reviews for your products so that people have more confidence buying them. Just go to the advanced tab and make sure enable reviews is checked.
All right, it's time for a product image here, which will be the main image thumbnail that shows off the product. So let's click Set Product Image and upload and select. And I'll drop you our hat in that folder in the description as well. Sometimes you do get a WP image when you're using the internet or just finding things online. If that's the case, you can always just screenshot it to make it a JPG or a PNG, which WordPress actually likes a lot better. So my screenshot will come up. We're just going to rename it. And perfect. And now we can open it. Screenshotting is a really useful tool when building WordPress websites, just to show off parts of the site to other people and also to create content really quickly. All right, next we'll set product image and it'll populate right there. Awesome. If you have more images of the product, like from different angles, you can do the product gallery, but we don't right now. And now we're going to give our product a category. So that'll help group products on different pages or different parts of your site. We're going to call this apparel. Not sure if I spelled that right. All right, and super quick, let's try to publish our product and see how it goes. And just one mistake there, I forgot to actually click Add New Category. And uncheck on Categorize and Update. Awesome. Okay, let's view the product at the top. And there we have it, guys. A really simplified, easy to use product screen. Working great on your site now. We have this like option down here too, so you can gather some social shares and traction around your products. Or we can remove that later if you'd like. Show you how to do that in a little bit, but for now, it's super cool. We can add the product to the cart. And WooCommerce is great because all the pages sync together dynamically. So you added it, boom, the page like barely even had to reload. And when you click View Cart, now it'll just be waiting there in the cart to purchase. And if you go to the shop page, our product automatically populates dynamically right here. All right, we're doing it, guys. So now that we've added one simple product, let's step it up and add a variable product with more options like sizes and colors. All right, so let's go to products again and just do add new. So we skip that little screen. And now we can just start off the same way again. We're gonna go with funny sports t-shirt. Okay, because I know you have some cool slogans and some branding that'll catch people's eye. And we're just gonna write, so comfy and great. Doesn't really matter what you say there. And we'll give it a regular price. Let's say 15, because we're not too pricey here. And we can try a sale price if you want, maybe just 10. Okay, we'll make sure our reviews are checked and then some features. All right, you can also highlight a bunch of text like that and just bullet all of them at once. And now let's come up and set the product image. Okay, we're gonna upload files, select files. And let's go to our downloads again. There's the sports shirt. And set product image. And lastly, add a category of apparel. Just check the box. And now we can publish our second product. But wait, before we do it, let's add some sizes and colors here. So let's make this not a simple product, but a variable product because it's going to have some variables. And those variables, like color and size, start as attributes. So click on attributes with me. And now we're going to do add. All right, and this is where it gets a little tricky, but if you have a brain for kind of organizing and compartmentalizing things, then I think you'll do just fine. So we're gonna have, first off, color, and then we have to enter the values and for some reason separate them by a vertical bar. So let's do red, blue, green, gray, black. Okay, keep it simple. And now we're going to check used for variations also and save attributes. Okay, so they're in there somewhere. They're showing up. So now you're going to get this drop-down menu, which will let you edit those attributes if you want to come back and do that. So now let's pop over to variations. And we can see, if we hit the drop-down, The best option here, in my opinion, is to create variations from all attributes. But we only have one type of attribute, so we actually need another, because then we can have like color combined with size, right? So let's add another one. And this is going to be size. And then we can have some values like small, of course. Or you can just do S, medium, L. For example, I know that you do other ones like XL, which is my size nowadays. Moved up from a large. But whatever you want to do is good. We can just keep it simple here. Check used for variations, or you can do something like, medium or marge or something. Okay. Enough jokes there. Let's save attributes. Keep both of those boxes checked right there. All right, and then pop back over to variations. And this is the really special part. WordPress is going to do the work for us to kind of variate all those different combos, and just click go once you've selected that, and okay. All right, success. 15 variations added, and let's click OK. Now it's going to list those variations here. And if you want, you can click on the hamburger menu and like drag them so they're ordered differently. But ideally, you have all these colors in their respective orders, then small, medium, large, or whatever the increasing size is. Okay, great. So now is a slightly annoying part. You have to open each one and set a price. So I'm going to do that, and then we will actually publish this product. And of course, this is nice because it lets you make different prices if maybe one of the materials is different in value to you. So I'm just going to skip ahead real quickly right here, if you don't mind, guys. Save us a little time. This kind of control over your products also helps you if you want to do one of them out of stock. So if you don't do a price, it will probably show up as out of stock, but if you check out of stock, then it will definitely show up as out of stock, or, on back order. Got to increase that demand, can't make it look like your products are too easy to get. Okay, once we've worked on our variations, make sure to click Save Changes, because that was kind of a lot of work. And now we can come up and see what we made. So we're going to go up and publish. However, keep in mind this product would definitely require a gallery because there's more colors, and people aren't just going to buy the gray shirt if all they see is the red shirt. All right, but this is just a demo. So I know you got it now that you know how to do it. And we're going to click View Product. And there's our shirt. And you might not have thought you could do it, but now you have colors. And you can choose the options, and that will automatically pull up the price. Super smooth. You can also click on the model and get a closer view of the shirt. And then we can also do the ones that are not available. So I think the green one's like not coming up because it's just out of stock. So that would be just not on the product page. But if you choose a size of a shirt that is available, then it will list itself in the other options. So there's no green mediums, they don't show up, but there is green larges. So that way someone can go ahead and grab that option. Just a way of kind of saving you time so people don't look at your site and say, hey, I want that product. And you're like, well, honestly, whatever's listed is what's there, but I will help you get that product soon once we have it again. Awesome, guys. That was our second product there. And of course, it is on our shop page as well. Things are really coming together. And why don't we go and add a third product, which is going to be downloadable. So we'll go to products, add new again. And this product is called our sports blogging ebook, e-book. All right. Learn how you can become a sports blogger without any prior experience. All you have to do is get started and create a blog. Cool. And we're going to go down, and simple product goes to simple product, stays that way. Actually, we're just going to check downloadable. Regular price. So we'll go with something pretty inexpensive. How about $16? And we need a downloadable file. And for this product, I'm actually going to represent this Amazon book, which I've read. I love it. It's all about how you can basically break into a career, a legit career, of course, with blogging, and how you can like start your own sports blog. Everything started often as a blog like Barstool Sports. All these people just started writing and gathering guest writers. And pretty soon they have a name and a brand, and they get into more meetings and events, and they're funny, have a good writing style, all these things that you have, and then you can put them out there. And before you know it, you actually do have career experience because you're working and writing about interesting stories, and sports always needs more writers and more opinions. That's the cool thing about sports, and a lot of other fields too. So great job, Matt Musico. Super cool guy. Like I said, read the book, loved it. And we're just gonna go ahead and download his image here. And I hope he doesn't mind that we're giving him some free promotion here. Obviously, we are not going to sell the book. We are just making an educational video here. But I think you should check it out on Amazon for sure, and I will link to it. And the lessons definitely apply to other fields too, like fashion with a fashion blog or fitness with a fitness blog. You know, it just helps you break into an industry. You know, having a blog on WordPress like we're making here, or even your own store, really helps you break into an industry. So add that file, choose file, upload again, select files, double click our JPEG. All right, and insert file URL. Cool. Okay, so next we're going to go to product image, and same. And for some reason, WordPress didn't like that download file from Amazon, so we're going to use our screenshot method. I'm just hitting Command-Shift-4 on a Mac, and that way we can drag around with these little crosshairs and give ourselves a nice little ebook cover. Okay, so now we're going to go to set product image and upload files. I'm going to go ahead and rename that super quick, and then select files. All right, got to go to our desktop because that's where screenshots go. Now it works, so we'll set product image, great job, and a little description. Okay, all right, just our little bulleted list there. Now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and give it a category. And for this, we're going to do add new category of just simply ebooks. And for the sake of the next step in the video, we're also going to make this apparel. All right, great work. Now we can just publish the sports blogging ebook. Okay, and let's go view the product. And here's our sports blogging ebook. All right, awesome. It's now on the shop page. Perfect, and we have 3 products. And if we have more time, we'll make a 4th product just to fill it in, because clearly it's meant for 4 thumbnails. But for now, this is looking pretty good. Now, what if you want to put your products on the home page? So there's like really not a section here, because when we're in our theme options, the free version of this theme, of course we want to stick with free to save some money because we're on a budget, only has carousel, menu, content, blog post, and page title. But the good thing is it has page content. So let's learn how to put in a shortcode from WooCommerce to show off those products within the page content area. Because of course we have full control of that page content. So I'm going to look up WooCommerce Shortcodes for us. And this might be a page you visit a lot, really. This is one of the most genius parts of WooCommerce. Okay, they're going to give us a bunch of examples, and basically you're supposed to just paste the shortcode in a page, or if there's like a WordPress block here, which we're not using, you can just put that shortcode in there right there. So there's all sorts of shortcodes, and they're customizable. Cart, checkout, my account, order tracking, but what we want are specific products. Now we're really killing it here. So there's featured, recent. How about category? There we go, category. So I'm just going to look up, wow, there's a lot of different types. Product category, shortcode WooCommerce to see an example. Okay guys, I'm sorry about that. It looks like the WooCommerce product category was slightly more complicated than it needed to be. So we can just go with a simpler shortcode which says product underscore category, then space category equals quotation marks, and then our category. And make sure it's these like vertical quotation marks and not those like curly ones. Okay, and we can update it. And now view our page. And I think it's just going to show 2 products, right? Because we just had 2 products in apparel. But if you wanted to have like a specific category for homepage, I think that would be smart, just so you can totally customize what's on your homepage as you have more and more products. So to do that, we can just go ahead and assign to each of our products a new category. We can quick edit them and then just drop in, oh, just kidding, we can't do that in quick edit. We can just edit each one of them and then add the category like homepage or featured or something like that, which will, you know, help it organize where we want them featured. So let's make this homepage, add new category, update. All right, that was our hat. Let's do the shirt and check homepage and update. And you can have multiple categories for the same product. You can just use those categories in different locations or for different purposes. And then the ebook. All right, also on the homepage and update. And now with that little flexibility there, we can edit the homepage and change our category to just homepage. Super redundant and easy, and update it. And now we should have all the products in the homepage category on our homepage. Nice, very good work, guys. Congratulations. All right, guys, why don't we take a quick moment now to set up our homepage icons, which can describe different cornerstone principles of your brand. So let's go to, you guessed it, appearance, theme, options. And now let's head over to our home layout section and then scroll down to home icon menu. And we're gonna open up the first one, and we don't need to upload an icon because we can select from the menu that Virtue provides us. And I'm just gonna go with a heart. And the title is gonna be, We Love Your Website. It's all caps for some reason. And you can also link it to something like a different page on your site or maybe a testimonial. All right, add an icon. Select icon. Let's go with the signal. Say grow traffic with our help, and close it. And add icon, one more. And clearly we can have a ton of icons, but I think we just need 3 to go across the homepage. And then I need something that describes WordPress help because we provide that every day. So how about is there like an inner tube or something? That would be cool. All right, let's go with the trophy because who doesn't like trophies? And say, your success is our goal. All right, and cool, we'll close that one. Like I said, again, you can link them to wherever you want on your site or off your site. And we'll save it and refresh the homepage, and let's see how it looks. And awesome. The only problem is this text is too long, so the middle one we got to shorten a little bit. So how about just grow traffic today? All right, and we did it. Cool. And I'm going to drag those icons down because they're not quite important enough to be at the top of the homepage. So super easy, just drag them down and save it. Nice. Okay, next, guys, we're going to work on our blog, and I want us to have at least 4 posts on the homepage, which will also go on our blog page. So we can easily set those up. We can actually just go to the blog page, and the first post is Welcome World, so we can click that one. And then if you click Edit Post, you'll go to the WordPress blog post section. Okay, so this post is really basic. It means nothing, and we don't want it. So let's go to Posts. And we're just going to trash the first one. So just trash that one. All right, and then now we can add new. So let's add new. And sometimes, guys, when I write a blog post, I think it's really important to use the image first, whether it's like a metaphorical image or one you took yourself. Setting the featured image really gives you like a tone for the rest of the blog post. So we're going to set the image, and I'm going to go ahead and upload and select and use some more images from our folder. All right, so you can use whatever images you want in here. And yeah, it really does not matter. So go ahead and pick whatever images you think are speaking to you right now. So the first one I'm going to do is this YouTube Red Lounge here because I love working at YouTube Studios. I'm going to open that one. All right, and we're going to set the featured image once it uploads. There we go. I'm just going to call this post Working Awesome YouTubers. If you need some text for your post, I don't have a post written right now, but for demo text, we can always go to panipsum.com. We can get some generic text. So I really like cat ipsum because I'm a cat person. And you can go ahead and just copy whatever it gives you. And it talks about things cats do and all the mistakes they make in the home. All right, and then once you're ready with that post, you don't need a whole lot more. Obviously, your post will include lots of intriguing copy and offers and links to your products and stuff. But for now, we just need a category. Do cats. And we will publish. And we're going to do another new post, and we're going to do this 4 times so we have a little bit of a blog to show off to everyone. All right, so this one, we're going to start with the featured image again, just to give us something to talk about. And I can't tell you enough how when I've worked with posts in the past, whether it's a picture of a building or just a food item like a muffin or a cup of coffee or a couple or something, having a good featured image really sets the tone for the rest of the post and lets you know what you should say. All right, here we go. We're going to set featured image and should come in a second. There we go. I'm going to call this one just thinking on my walk. All right, we're going to put that cat text in. We're going to call this one reflections. Add the category. And there we go. And publish. And I kid you not, if you had someone make your blog for you, like a web designer, they would charge you upwards of $500, but we are doing it for free. And now you're going to have a blog and a website in one. All right, so the next one, set featured image, upload select. All right, we'll grab a swimsuit picture. Awesome. And set featured image. Cool day at the beach. And I'm just kind of freestyling here, guys. Beaches, add new category, and publish. And one more new post for sure. We'll call this one, well, I don't know what we'll call it because we're going to get the featured image first and then let that set the tone of the whole post. And we can do a little cute puppy here. This is actually a real puppy that we hang out with a lot at home. And she is named Kova, the Cavapoo. So we'll call her New Cavapoo in the house. All right. And now she is immortal because she's on our demo site. This will be dogs. So you can write about anything, of course. It is your blog. It is your voice. But I just want to show you how to make a blog that looks good on the homepage so that everyone can enjoy it. And now when we click to our site, there we go. We should have a nice blog right beneath everything. And because our theme is so clever, it shows off everything nicely. And more importantly, well, equally as important, it shows off the number of comments. So when you get comments, it'll have a number there. People will be like, oh, you got 4 or 5 comments. I want to join the discussion. And they'll go ahead and jump in. And there you go. It's really important to social proof your blog. Okay, awesome, guys. So I just want to add one more product here also. I'm just going to do that on the sneak. We're going to go to new, and then we now have product because we have WooCommerce. So product is an option there. And the new product is going to just be whatever our product image tells us to make. We can upload, select, and I think I want to do some sort of bag because bags are so popular these days. Let's do the stretched bag. Okay. All right. We're going to set the product image. We'll give it a price of, let's say, $65. Simple product. We'll call it a 2 clasp hand bag. All right. And some features about the product. Okay. And highlight that and make it a bulleted list. that is not a bullet, and we're good. And now let's publish this, and it is apparel and publish. All right, guys, and we're gonna go to the homepage. And if we want the product on our homepage, remember, we just need to go and put that product on the homepage by using a category of homepage and update. And now it is that easy. You have that full customization to put a new product right there front and center for everyone to see and buy, and they can add it to the cart right from the homepage. Awesome. Okay, guys, so now in our homepage, we really need to work on the section that says, "Hi world, welcome to my online store." And I feel like it's going to be best to write a little welcome message there and then get rid of this bar that has the social icons, but actually put in a real Facebook like button for your Facebook fan page there. And then we can keep this default bar for other posts and pages. So let's see how to do that. Let's go back to the dashboard, and we're going to go to the plugins, and there we're going to find our Twitter, Facebook, social share. All right, and there's no settings right there. So if we hover on settings, we'll actually get to TF social share settings. Sometimes that's just where the plugin settings live. All right, so now what we want to do is get rid of it on the pages. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and disable this plugin on pages, search results, archives, categories, tags, and author archives. So it only shows up on single posts. At the same time, we can get rid of things like Stumble, Google +1, doesn't even exist anymore, and LinkedIn, because I don't use LinkedIn. Who uses LinkedIn anyways, right? Corporate people, not bloggers. And then Facebook and like and Twitter, we're going to keep. Okay, and save changes. So now we're going to hit the button for our homepage, and it's gone. Beautiful. Let's go to edit page. And now I'm going to show you how to put in a real Facebook like button so that when they like it, they won't just like your page on WordPress, which is important, but someone will like your actual fan page. And of course, you need to make a Facebook page. So you're going to go to developers.facebook.com/doc/plugin/like button, or you can just Google the Facebook like button, and you can even misspell it. And there it is. Okay, and there's some European stuff here. I don't know what that means. And now what you're going to do is put in the URL of your Facebook page. So mine is just facebook.com/dearblogger. And all you need to do is grab the link to your page. For some reason, I'm logged out. And then you can paste that link in right here. And it will pull in how many likes you have. Cool. And then you can change some basic settings like the width. You can just put in like a number if you want, or, you know, I don't really know how wide you want that to be. So I usually leave it blank because the default's pretty good. Then for layout, a lot of times people play with this. So you can go ahead and customize the Facebook code. Standard's pretty good though. You can go from like to recommend if you think recommend is more appropriate, and then small or large. So let's try large, and let's get the code. Okay, great. So it says 1, place the JavaScript SDK on your page, ideally right after the opening body. Cool. And then place this code wherever you want the plugin to appear. So we are going to grab the second piece of code and copy it, and that's going to go in our page. And it's going to go after our message. Cool. And if it comes up a little bit boxed in like that, go ahead and just paste it in again in the text tab. Okay, so not much going on there, but it's there. Great. Okay, now we can update that. And now what I want you to do is we're going to grab this second piece of Facebook code, which kind of confuses everyone, but I'll show you exactly what to do with it, and copy that. And we want to put that right after the opening body tag in WordPress. Well, how do we do that? Well, we don't really want to edit the appearance editor files. That's where the body tag would live. But we can edit that body code really easily if we just add a new plugin. So I said we might add a plugin on the fly, and we are going to add one called called Insert Headers and Footers, which is made by the folks at WP Beginner. Super awesome, and this plugin will help you basically add the right code from third-party programs like Facebook. We'll install it, and activate. All right, now you have to just go to the settings of the plugin. So that's also going to be on your settings panel now. You get a little more powerful. Just click insert headers and footers, and then paste this stuff in the, I believe that's going to go in the body. Yep, in the body, because it said right after the opening body tag. So this is some Facebook body code. All right, and then we will just save it, easy as that. And now when we refresh our site, or go to the homepage rather, we should see a beautiful Facebook like button. Awesome. So it looks really cool. You now know how to add a like button from your actual Facebook page, but the spacing is just a little bit off. So we're gonna have to add some more writing and then some spacing beneath that like button. Let's keep working on our welcome to my online store section and learn how to add a Google font so that text looks really pretty and welcoming. We can edit the page so that we can get at that hi world, welcome to my online store text. There it is. And let's make a little space there. And I'm just going to write out a little blurb that I thought up for the website and for you guys specifically. Okay, just a little something there, and you can replace the basic words I put in there with your own text. If you'd like, you are free to copy that. Okay, now to add a Google font here, first we'll just update it. The best way to do that is not with a plugin, because I don't like having too many plugins. It kind of weighs down your site. You can actually just go to Google Fonts through Google, and now we're just gonna click on Browse Fonts. And this site is always changing, but one good way to browse fonts is just to look at what we have here. So if you want something kind of personal and like stylish, maybe you go with something a little more cursive like this. If you want to grab that font, you can just click it, and we can just scroll down, and hopefully there's a place where we can use it. So I'm just going to click select this style, and it's going to give us a little link here. Dismiss that. Little link right here, and then below there's a font family. So all you got to do is just copy this entire block of code right there, and we're going to use this lower part in a second. And we're going to come back to our site and make sure you update it so you don't lose the text, whatever you wrote. And then we're going to go to our trusty insert headers and footers plugin again, and from here we just need to put this in the header, because this is where font code goes. All right, and save it. And nothing's going to change yet. We just have to go to our home page and then edit page. And then we need to grab this little font family here. So we're going to like triple click and copy that whole thing. Right, got it. And then we're going to come back and go to the text tab, and I'm going to show you how to write a little bit of your own code. All right, so the Facebook code is already in here. There it is. But the code that we want to write is just something simple here. We want to write P style, that's paragraph, equals quotation mark, what you got from Google, so font family, blah, 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 and then close the quote, and then close the alligator, and then close off the P as well for paragraph. All right, and update. And now, when we view the page, things should look a little bit different. So there you go. We just added a new font to WordPress. Kind of cool. It's way too small, but at least it worked. So now we can edit the page and we can kind of work with it a little bit. Okay, so we can add a font size here, which I'm just going to show you because I know a little CSS. And we can also add that font by copying the CSS opening part and the closing P to the header. We're just going to make that part bigger, maybe like 48, so it's like twice as big. Beautiful. And then let's update it and view page. And when you're working with your own custom CSS like this, it's really fun, but it takes a little trial and error. Like, it doesn't always look good the first time. So again, this still doesn't really look good. We're going to be forced to kind of make some decisions here. So like, do we want to make more spacing? Do we want to change the font altogether? Those are the decisions we have to make. So one thing you can do is add some line height. So you can make the line height bigger. Like let's say like the line height is like 16 pixels, like that. And we can also add a line break there, and a line break there, and a line break there, and update. And that's just kind of how WordPress CSS works. You just gotta kind of massage it a little bit. And so that didn't work. The line height was not enough. Maybe the line height's more like 24 pixels. Refresh it. So that's a little bit better, but we need more. So let's go a little more aggressive, like 42. And then the BRs aren't working, so we have to go with it at NBSP instead with a semicolon. That's the other way of making a space in WordPress, just so you know. So that's just kind of how it works. Sometimes you just got to fight with WordPress a little bit, and you got to win the fight. And we are winners. And yeah, you know, eventually it's going to look great. I don't know why that nope, sorry. It's because it's NBSP. Sorry, long day. Apparently, it's NBSP. And yep, got to change the line height and not the font. And pretty soon we might have something that looks workable. So that's a little bit better at least, but the like button is still kind of hugging the product, and the font is like way too small still. So let's make that more like a 36, bring the line height up even more, refresh it, and eventually you're gonna get something good. Not saying it's gonna happen right away. And this font honestly might be like way too cursive-y because I don't think anyone wants to read all that. Okay, and then things are looking better here, but it's clearly wrote a little too much. So why don't we just go ahead and like condense this and delete a little bit. So go ahead and delete some of this text here. Don't know why the MacBook has that like triple click thing. And cool. We're just gonna make it like such and update. And lastly, what I'd like to try to do is get that like button like right after the thank you for reading and prompt people to like our cause. So instead of thank you, I'm gonna say, if you like what we're doing, please hit that like, grab a thumbs up there. Okay, and now we're gonna get rid of the spaces, and we're gonna try to bring that like button into the P and see what happens. Okay, so not bad. The like button is definitely hugging the text, and there it is. And if you want to add a little bit of padding beneath the like button, you can just put your mouse in between the div and the class and make a style equals something like padding bottom 50 pixels, and close off that style and update it. And that is how to add a little of your own code to the Facebook code. So kind of cool. You can do a lot with WordPress, and you can do a lot with a little basic HTML and CSS, and now you're a coder. So congratulations. Okay guys, our site's looking great now, but we still need that portfolio section so that we can show off some works. And honestly, everyone loves clicking on a grid of things and then clicking more into that grid of things and scrolling and seeing what you made. So we want to give people that experience. How do we create such a beautiful portfolio for free? Well, Virtue has this covered. Let's go back to our dashboard, and why don't we go to our appearance theme options again. It's where all the magic goes on. And just kidding, we actually want to go to portfolio. So tricked myself there. So portfolio, we're going to add new, and we can go ahead and start creating. And what we're creating are things that look, you know what, why don't I free up some space up here? That look like these destination pages. Like this is a destination page, and this is a destination page. And they're just in different formats, right? So they have different forms of sliders, really cool, different places of putting the text and all. So that's what we're gonna make here. Okay, so why don't we just go ahead and start creating, and we're going to start with the images again. And in order to get great images, we're just going to grab them from the Virtue demo site. So let me see if I can read your mind on which one of these you like the most. I think people are going to like these business cards. Okay, so I'm actually just going to open them up and right click and save image as. Save it to the right click, okay, right click, save it, and right click and save it. Okay, cool. So once you have your images, just come back to WordPress, and we're gonna call this one My New Business Cards. Kind of makes me think of that movie American Psycho, where everyone has new business cards and Christian Bale is like not happy with his. And we're gonna do the, why don't we do the, it had the 3 rows on the demo site, but why don't we do like the beside? Cool. Okay. So you can change how many columns there are, but that's only for the grid option. And there are so many different types of values here. It's kind of like, what do we do? Well, these values actually are what goes beneath the portfolio. So this is not a good example here. What is a good example is like one of these other portfolios, like this one. So they have project, coffee, camera, Canon 7D, for example, Ink and 2013. It's really nice too. You get these dynamic tabs, so you don't have to click away to get the info. And we're just going to try to see what happens here. Going from top to bottom, we have the project layout. So it's either going to be beside, above, or 3 rows. This would be like a beside. And why don't we make it a slider? Cool. And then columns. I don't think we need the columns thing. Then you can choose the max height. We'll go with the default though. We're going to autoplay it, and we're going to choose some basic values here. Okay, we're going to add edit gallery and upload files, select files, and we're going to grab those awesome business cards we just downloaded. And as you can see, this is a really good option to create your own portfolio website where you can showcase what you made, or you can showcase what your business has created. Maybe you're a design agency. Super cool. And you've made different graphics for people, websites, maybe event, brochures or event marketing, copy, that sort of thing. Create new gallery and insert new gallery. And yeah, once this page is done, it's going to look fantastic. These are really nice examples. And all you need to do is basically just manufacture them within your Virtue dashboard now. I don't have a ton of text for us, so I'm just going to copy some of it from the demo site. And sorry about that, but we don't have our own like real copywriter here. I'm just trying to show you how to set up the nuts and bolts so you can get things looking good. Why don't we try to publish it now and see how it looks? And we'll view the item, and voila. So now we have our own first portfolio item. It's a slider through all the business cards. Wow, look at that business card made by Mockup. And then you have the automatic bullet pointed list and the text, and everything looks super crispy clean. So you also get the like and the tweet because that's from our TF Social Share plugin. I love it. And if we go to portfolio, then our first portfolio is not up, and it's not up because we don't have the portfolio set up on this page. However, I know that if we edit page, we can easily convert this into a portfolio page. All we need to do is go to the template here and make it a portfolio grid. So I can't tell you how cool this theme is. A lot of themes that are free don't have this kind of variety. You just choose portfolio grid and voila, you have a portfolio page. Usually the template is just like 1 or 2 things that don't make any sense. In this case, everything makes sense. And we have our first portfolio page. So really cool. The only thing is we need to get that portfolio item onto our page. So let's go to the portfolio again and see what we just made. My new business cards. And we're going to add a new type. And it's going to be business stuff. And add new type. And update. And now when we go to the portfolio stuff, there should be a way to include the portfolio types just like we brought in those categories for our products on the homepage. So portfolio, and then we're going to grab the types, and all types, we'll just do business stuff. Why not? And then update it. All right, guys, we're having a little trouble displaying our business cards on our portfolio page here. Business cards that we made for Apple Inc., no less. They're kind of floating up here, and I realized that's because we didn't include a featured image. So make sure you get that featured image in, even if you have a carousel image as well. And that will push the portfolio down into place on our portfolio page. That's just how the theme is laid out. Perfect, we did it. Okay, so I made this travel photo in the background, super basic portfolio. And even though I'm going a little faster here so we can get our portfolios done, I really do want you to play around with your portfolio items when you have time, because as you can see, there are so many options like slider, carousel slider, grid, video. So we obviously have to make a video, all right? And there's just so much to do and so little time. But for our last portfolio item, we'll make a video. And then I want you to try out all the other ones so you can make like a full 3x3 9 item grid. So we'll call this one video montage, because I'm sure you're gonna have some cool video montages. And video. Why don't we go above? And there should be a video product. Paste the embed code here. It works with YouTube, Vimeo, ... So we'll just go to YouTube and we'll grab like a nice pleasing graphic of something along the lines of nature, waterfall. You can see what I'm into, by the way. All right, we're just gonna grab something interesting like this, turn the sound off, and share it with an embed. So it wants the embed, you just copy the embed code, and we'll give it the embed code. Cool. And then make sure you have your featured image there. And it doesn't really matter what we do for the featured image because we don't really have a waterfall picture. So we could just do one of like our model again. Set featured image, business, and publish. All right, and then we have our final portfolio item. I love it. And they click it, and then they get this cool video, which could be anything you've made on YouTube. Awesome. And over to the right over here would go the portfolio details like project type, skills needed, customer, etc., etc. Awesome. Okay, so as you can see, guys, we now have the portfolio section on the homepage, because when we're in our theme options, and we logged in again, might ask you to do that from time to time, we have our portfolio carousel. So that's what's making the portfolio show up on the homepage. And I decided that I need to add a couple more portfolio items. And so what I recommend doing so that you can add more portfolio items like really simply is making a little text edit file. I love this app, guys. It's on everyone's Mac and probably a lot of people's PCs too. If you don't know about it, it's just called Text Edit with a capital E. And I recommend you just kind of add the text that you want to put into your portfolios or your blog or your website in advance. That way, when you're staring at this screen, it doesn't look intimidating. And you can go ahead and just add things and it'll be really smooth. So the next thing I want to add is literally just a, where am I? I want to add a office thing. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to add the office. And then I'm going to have the text ready to go right here, just talking about my office. And you can just paste everything in. Then you can come down below and decide like what kind of a project layout it's going to be. So maybe we'll do the 3 rows. And then these things will just kind of fill in themselves because we have our office is a type and then web design. And you can either write it in or whatever is quickest for you. In my case, I'm a pretty fast typer. So sometimes I like just kind of typing instead of copying. But you know, whatever works for you. And you actually do need to write out the words that will be going ahead of your values. So kind of annoying, but you know,
when it looks good, and it's worth it. And we've been in business on YouTube since 2011, so I'm super proud about that. And yeah, then you can just paste in your links and everything's super easy. And I just wanted to write out this little text edit file to create some content in advance for us, and that way we can just put it in. A little preparation goes a long way. And I'm not going to make you guys go through all these steps, but it is important to get them all done. So go ahead and devote a little time in the evening to make your portfolio look good. If you have some work from your graphic design or in real life, then you will definitely benefit from this because it's going to make you look awesome. Okay, I'm just going to add a gallery here. And I'm going to grab some stuff from the Virtue website again because they are so giving with their content. So we can literally grab a few images. That is a great quote. Don't just stand there. And a bunch of random paraphernalia on a table that says back to school and makes someone look really old-fashioned and kind of cool, like a mason or something. And once you have your files, you can of course upload them and select, and I'm sure they won't mind on the Virtue website if you grab a couple of their items, as long as you give them a shout out and ask for permission. And we can go ahead and upload those things and then put them into our portfolio, and we should have a nice carousel. And when you're making a carousel, you can actually select multiple images at once. If you're doing like a featured image, you can only select one of them. But in this case, they will all go into a new gallery once we click create a new gallery and insert gallery. And there you go. You learned how to make a gallery in WordPress, which is, again, one of those skills that people pay a developer hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to learn how to do and set up on your website. So let's give it a category and publish. Category is not too important there. You're going to have to make your own categories when you want to really organize everything to your own needs. But in our case, we now have our fourth portfolio item, and that means we have a carousel to get to the fourth one. And because I'm kind of an idiot, I went ahead and forgot to put the featured image in, so we can go back to our dashboard and portfolio right there, which we have because we have Virtue theme. If you didn't have Virtue theme, you probably wouldn't have portfolio as an option. And we can actually go ahead and give ourselves the featured image, which is what we need so the image shows up on our little slider there on the homepage. So set featured image, grab it and set featured image, and then we're good, and update it, and now we should be good to go. Awesome, guys. So now you know how to make a portfolio carousel on your website, and it just keeps going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. So now that we have everything working on our homepage, it's time to put some of that in the footer just so someone can like navigate things a little bit better and people don't get lost when they get to the bottom of your website. So let's make our footer. All right. So to do that, let's go to customize. And then from customize, we're going to, of course, after we memorize how beautiful the Virtue demo site looks, so beautiful, we're going to go to Okay, guys, so to get our footer up and running, we're first going to need to go to the widgets area. You can just hover on your site title and click widgets. And if you're getting this welcome to blocks widgets thing, it means that WordPress is trying to send you down a different path and use the blocks, but no one really uses these because they don't make any sense and they just keep loading forever. So what you want to do is go to your plugins, and we're going to make widgets just like everyone else used to make widgets, which is to use, if you click add new, the classic widgets. So we're going to do it the old school way because it worked great, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it is how we pretty much operate in life. And activate that. But if you want to use the new one, by all means, go ahead. I just think that the old one was laid out really nicely. So now we're going to hover on appearance and click widgets, and it'll take us to that different screen. Beautiful. And all we need to do is put stuff in footer column 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so it looks like if we want to use the demo from Virtue, which we do, the first thing is going to be just a like simple visual editor. So we can go ahead and just grab the arbitrary text,
Or if you want to be really clever, I can show you how to get one more plugin. Sure, we're hanging out this long together. We might as well do it right. Let's go back to plugins and let's grab, when we click add new, the Tiny MCE black visual editor. So I'm just going to look up Tiny MCE. All right. Black Studio, Tiny MCE widget, 500,000 plus active installations. And I don't know how you would have found this without me. So I guess you're welcome. But yeah, someone had to show me this one too at one point. It's just kind of crazy how WordPress is like a you know it and you're in the know sort of thing. But if you don't know it, then no one's going to tell you. But I'm here to tell you all the secrets. So at least you got that going for you. Okay, so now when we go to Appearance Widget, you're going to have a much better editor. Instead of just the text box, which we were going to use, we have a visual widget, which is the Black Studio Tiny MCE widget. Allows you to insert rich text and media objects instead of just text. And it's just called Visual Editor, which is perfect. So put it in footer column 1 and add widget. And now we can just say a little bit about our site. So on the Virtue demo, they just called it like a title. So I'm just going to call this like how to create an e-commerce website. And then we're going to say a little bit about us. Okay, once you've written what you want to write, just save it. And then we can go on to our next widget. So I'm super excited. All this stuff is heartfelt, as everything we do is. And now we can do the contact us little widget. And because we're using Virtue, there's like a contact vCard option, which is super easy. It's going to come with some special different categories. So we can just call this like reach out. And then a company name is just Dear Blogger Inc. That's my company. And then all sorts of stuff like address. So we're located at Chelsea Market, New York City. And you can go ahead and write in everything. If you want to just be specific, we can actually put everything in its right box. And I always forget zip codes. So what is the zip code where we work? All right, that would just be 10011. And it's actually 75 9th Avenue. Super cool. Alright, so unlike the portfolio items, you can just write in like your actual values. You don't have to give them titles here. And our telephone is crazy simple. I don't know how we got that number. It was just meant to be, I guess. And then I will give you my email here, which you can actually write to with any questions about blogging. Go ahead and send them over. Just don't send me anything crazy. And yeah, I am at your service. Now we can do our next widget item, which is the recent. Actually, the next one is social, which is going to go beneath the contact. So we're going to do Virtue social links and add that also to column 2 and add widget. And then booyah, it's right there. All we need to do is call this like something cool, like let's hang out, shall we? And then you can go ahead and put in your social media links. We obviously have a Facebook group because groups are the new thingamajobber. And Twitter, of course, we have. Twitter's like super political nowadays, not that much fun. Rather just talk about something we can all agree on, like blogging being amazing. Or how much I would like to go to a tennis tournament or travel to Italy or something like that. There's really not much point in doing it on a computer, but some people use Instagram on a computer. You never know. And Google Plus One is actually dead, so that was kind of sad. But there's a lot of options because every social profile is important. And great. So then we can go to our next one, which is recent projects. So we're going to grab the Virtue widget for that, of course, which is going to be the Virtue image grid, because this shows a grid of featured images and recent posts or portfolio items. So just grab that, put it in number 3, add widget,
and scroll up again, and you can easily call this like something cool, like what I'm working on. So as you can see, this is a great option for portfolio websites of all sorts. And then it's super easy to change the grid choice from blog post to portfolio or back to blog post if that's what suits you. Up to you. You can choose the category. So obviously everything we've made so far built into this. Everything is going to work great, and choose a number to show. We only have 4, so we'll choose 4 and save it. And then lastly, we can do a little menu here for resources. All right, so let's see what Virtue has for that. So we've used the contact vCard, and we haven't used the image, but we could. We've used the image grid. There's also recent posts. We've used social links, and there's nothing for that little menu thing. So how do you create that? Well, I have a feeling that's just a basic menu. So why don't we go up and choose something like a navigation menu. You can open that up and put it in footer column 4 and add widget. And we can just call this one like footer. No, we don't want to call it footer. We just want to call it browse our site. And you can select something like main menu and save it. And cool. And so now the widgets are saved. Now that you clicked save on all of them, let's refresh our site and see what we made. Okay, so at the bottom we have things looking great. We have our about us, reach out, social media area. Kind of cool. They're different colors. We have the portfolio, and then we have the browse our site. And because I know you guys are going to ask, if you want to put something like a video in the footer, that's also really easy. You just go back to your widgets, and you can easily just click on a video. So how many different website management systems and content management systems let you put a video in the footer, like Shopify or Squarespace? Not too many. Let's go ahead and put a video into that footer area, and all you need to do is just title it and then add the video, and you can upload it right here. In our case, we don't want to use the video widget because if we have a video, it's probably going to be on YouTube. So I can just grab the visual editor, which is kind of the catch-all sort of widget, and then we can just go to YouTube and search for something awesome like how to make a blog by Greg. I know that's kind of indulgent, and it's crazy because that's how crazy YouTube is. We don't even come up anymore. So, yeah, that's embarrassing. Guess we have to put our last name in there because so many people have tried to make a blog like us. And all you need to do is just click on a video. And this is our video from 2017. And we can just share it and go ahead and grab the embed and click and copy the embed and come back to WordPress and paste it in. And because it's code, we actually want to paste it into the text tab, because if we put it in the visual tab, it's going to look weird. But if we put it in the text tab, then it all looks great. And we can say how to make a blog video. All right, and save it. And now we'll go to our site and refresh it. And you just learn how to put a video in the footer. So pretty cool. If it looks big, you just need to go back to the widget and go to text and go ahead and size it down from like width and height to something smaller. So let's put the width at like 100 and the height at auto. So it'll just be like whatever the width tells it to be. And now we can just refresh it and it should look good. Okay, so not that good, but you get the picture. Maybe it should be a little more like 260. And perfect. All right, so that's how to put a video in the footer. And now our footer is complete. Great job, guys. Okay, guys, so the final page we have to make on our website here is the Contact Us page. And good thing Virtue has all the tools we need to do that. We just need to first go up to New in the upper nav and click Page. And go ahead and title it Contact or Contact Us or whatever you prefer.
And then for template, this is the really important part. Just put contact, of course, and publish. And let's see what happens. All right, beautiful. Now let's click view page. And look at that, we have a blank contact us page. So nothing really happened. Why don't we actually get rid of some tabs here so we can focus. So let's go back to edit page. And we're gonna work with the page settings that Virtue has given us. So down here, we can go for the use contact form, yes. And we're gonna title this thing. Let's just go with send us an email as I suggest. And we have a math question, so there's no spam bots. We're gonna go with yes to a map, and for our address, you can put in whatever your business address is. In our case, it's just Chelsea Market, where we've worked for so many years. So I'm just gonna copy the address from Google because we work at YouTube Studios there, but they don't really have a specific address. It's more just like a secret elevator that like even YouTubers can't find sometimes. And then you could do like roadmap or whatever you want, hybrid, terrain, etc. And we can go with like a map height. I think the default will work. Okay. And then some basic text if you'd like. You can see where that would go. So I'm just gonna write like, please leave us a note if any products are not up to your expectations, and update. Okay. So now we've really taken advantage of the Virtue contact page details. Let's view page and see what happened. And we have a map, cool. And we have a form and some text. So we're getting there for sure. We're definitely getting there. But the map is kind of wonky. It's like threefold. So let's edit page. And down below, we're gonna want to change that page content width to just full width. All right, and let's see what happens then. Let's update it. And because I know we're gonna need to make more changes on this page, just like anytime you're making edits, we can just right click and, oh, right click didn't work. We can just right click on the view page button and open in a new tab. Okay, so we need to go back to edit page, and if anything isn't working on your site, you can always go to the Virtue demo. That's why it's so great that they leave the demo site up, just like we're gonna do, because that way we can reference it and be like, oh, that's the way it was supposed to look. Now I know what I can make with mine. So on their site, they have the features and the contact us page, and we can clearly see it's a street view. And then you have these two icons, some text, a link, and things just look way cleaner. So this is where we have to get with our work right now, and let's figure out how to get there. Okay, so let's see how far we can get with the default settings within Virtue. Let's go back to our edit page, and let's change the map zoom to something more like 5. See what happens. And then we're gonna do the show page title. And for content width, let's go with contained and update. All right, and now we'll refresh the page. And we can see we zeroed in a little bit more on the map, but we want to do a little more than 5, maybe like 10, just so we have that kind of like really clear view so someone could actually drive there. Okay, so you get the picture. You can obviously play with this a little bit more, and if you want to show like the whole state or country, you can definitely do that now with those numbers. Kind of cool. You don't have to do any code or anything like that, but this is good. Now we're at the street level, just like the contact page on the Virtue demo site. Well guys, if you're looking at the contact page on Virtue and wondering how we get these icons and all that, I will tell you right now, they're probably using the block editor in WordPress to set these up and then stage this other block, but we generally don't use the block editor. So We can be as clever as we want or not. And right now, obviously, our page doesn't look very clever, but you can do so much in the WordPress visual editor right here. You wouldn't even know. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and create something amazing. Let's just get a couple spaces in there. And then all you need to do is bring up some emojis. So I'm going to hit Command Control Space on my Mac, but you can hit whatever will bring up your emoji on your computer. And then we're going to look up the phone. Okay, so perfect. Get the phone in there. And I'm going to write, give us a call. And we can write our number, which is incredibly simple. I still can't believe we got this number. And then we can also do Command Control Space for email. And get the email icon and then shoot us an email. And then put your email address. Beautiful. And then a little trick I like. Beautiful. And then a little trick I like to get people to click it when they should email you is just highlight it. All right. And then hit copy. Go with the copy and then hit the link in WordPress. And then it'll automatically go to mail to because WordPress knows that that's an email address. And then when someone clicks it, it'll open up their default mail browser and email us. So pretty cool. And then we can just go ahead and, put our general text in there and update. All right, now let's refresh the page. And cool, so we did it. We didn't make something like this, but we did pretty good. We don't really need this little icon or this phone because people are more familiar with emojis anyways. And if you want to make some spaces there, just go to the edit page and go to text and then put some spaces right there by hitting return or enter, and then write out the and NBSP semicolon, and that will create some spaces by default. And you can just put a couple of those or 3 of them, might look good, and update. And then refresh the contact page. And that is how WordPress knows to put in some spaces. So you did it. Great job, guys. And if you want to write more about why people should contact you or what they should do or what they shouldn't do when they contact you, that's totally fine. And you can make use of WordPress headers and all sorts of images or logos or even a picture of you and your business right there, and people will love it. Okay, awesome. And now our contact page is done. All we need to do is put it in the menu. Okay, so to do that, we can obviously go to Appearance menu, and we're going to hit the Contact Us and Add to Menu. Super easy now that we know how to make a menu, and save it. All right, I don't know why the save button likes jumping down when we're trying to hit it. In any case, now when we hit our site logo, now we have Contact Us in the menu. Beautiful. Great job, guys. Okay, guys, so clearly we have a logo problem size because our logo uploaded at 300 by 58 pixels through Logo Maker. So that's not going to be the best way to make a logo anymore. But what we're going to do is actually go to PicMonkey.com, and we're going to go ahead and make a logo there, which is bigger. So all you really need to do at PicMonkey, which is super easy, and I'll give you the link in the description below, is click Create New, and then hit Blank Canvas. Okay, and we're just going to make it. All right, now we just need to bring in some sort of graphic we were going to use before, but because they have graphics already, it's really easy. You just click Graphics, and we can click something like Basic, or maybe you want to click Design. All the graphics are ready to go right here in PicMonkey. There's animated graphics and so on and so forth. In our case, we're a very sporty website, so why don't we go with one of these sporty designs? All right, so we can easily go with a cool water bottle, which someone would love drinking, and move it. And we're just going to recreate our logo right here with some text. We can click Add Text and go with the title of our site, which is Your WP destination, as we saw before. All right, so it's really clean here in PicMonkey. And honestly, I'm kind of glad we're not using Logo Maker anymore because those logos were super small. And size does matter when it comes to logos. And why don't we keep this one just black, but change the text from Lotto to something a little bit more appealing like Comforta. And stretch it out a little bit. You can always bring your text in and stretch it. All right, beautiful. And once your logo looks perfect, you can go ahead and crop it here in PicMonkey. Just go to Edit and Crop Canvas, and then bring it in. And obviously PicMonkey is a much higher quality tool than Logo Maker because it's a paid tool, but I'll tell you one thing. Whenever I need to make a YouTube thumbnail, I go to PicMonkey. So it is something that's truly priceless, and I couldn't live without it. So I hope that you use it and love it as much as I do. We can hit return. Now we can just hit apply to crop the image and download it. All right, and download. And we'll go with logo version 3 because it's been a lot of logos. And at least we're not paying a graphic designer to design our own logos for us. Now on the website, all we need to do is go back to the Appearance Customize tab, and we're just going to go to Main Settings, and then upload a new logo. So we have a basic image here that we put in just so we could understand that the image could be bigger than the other logo was. We'll just remove it and upload and select files and grab our logo version 3 and open, and perfect, and select it. And now we have our own much bigger logo, and we can publish it. And then when we go to our site and refresh by clicking on the other logo, we will have a brand new logo. So perfect. Now we can also go and change the spacing around the logo so that the logo is a little bit more centered. All right, pretty good. To your heart's content, of course, change that. And we want to get the menu centered. So beautiful, and publish. And when we refresh our site, now we are finally happy with our logo because we made a high quality logo with PicMonkey. Great job, guys. Next, let's get those section titles on our homepage. And to do that, we can go back to our theme options panel. All right, I need to log in again. Then click on our home layout. And we're going to drag that page title back in and see what happens. And save changes. Let's check it out. And as we can see, all that did was put the title of the page we made here, homepage, on the homepage, which is totally redundant, and we don't want that. So let's get rid of that page title, and instead, to add little titles above each section, let's go ahead and just write in the title of each homepage section. So home blog, home portfolio, etc., etc. All right, so we're going to give our blog a clever little title of a walk through WordPress, our blog. Great, and then we can also choose how many posts it has, but I think we only have 4 right now, so that's fine. All the settings, as you can see in Virtue, are really just self-explanatory and intuitive. All right, and then home portfolio. So we'll call this one our portfolio. Keep that simple. All right, and let's save those changes and refresh the homepage. And nailed it. Great. So now we have a portfolio and we have a walk through WordPress, our blog. And we don't really need to title the icons down here. That's self-explanatory. Those are just things that characterize our brand. But I do think it might be nice to title the shop right here and also get some spacing right above Hi World, welcome to my online store. Okay, so to do that, remember we can just edit page because that content, the welcome message, and the products are just on our homepage. All right, so let's use our and NBSP semicolons and pop in a couple spaces, whatever you think looks good. All right, and then our products are just, as you know, designated by this product category homepage. So what we can do is go to our homepage and we can actually go ahead and copy the header styles of the Virtue theme, which would be the header styles of our portfolio and our blog. And that way we can make things totally symmetrical. So we'll right click and inspect, which you can tell we like using an awful lot. And now we know that that's a home title. So I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Home title, because when we click on home title, it's highlighted and it's also an H3. Okay, so how do we take advantage of this sort of styling? Well, I think we can actually just use H3s because our WordPress pages are so familiar with those. So let's go ahead and put an H3 tag around not around the entire products, but we'll just call this one shop and H3 around that. And we're just writing our own little HTML tags, as we can see right here, because I don't want to go back to the visual and then it'll get rid of the NBSPs and some of the styling we made from scratch. Okay, so once you have an H3 there, let's go ahead and update the page and we can just simply refresh. And now we have our shop. Cool, it's just not centered like those other section titles. So the spacing looks good up here though. If you want to center some text, it's really easy. Just go back to your edit page. And we're going to try the H3 style equals, and I'll show you how to write a little more custom CSS right here. We're going to go with the H3 style equals text align center. Remember that semicolon after that and close the quotes and update. And when we refresh right on our shop area, our shop is centered. Awesome. So just a little more custom CSS to add to your arsenal. Okay guys, great. Our homepage is nicely spaced out. We obviously want to take advantage of white space, which we're doing now. Congratulations. And next I just want to show you how to increase the menu font size because it's a little bit small looking at shop and blog. And if you have good eyes, you might see them, but if your customers have bad eyes, then you could really be in trouble. So let's do that. Let's go back to our theme options. And I believe we have menu settings. There we go. And we're just going to raise that font size up because 12 is way too small. Let's try 16 and also get the line height up accordingly. And you can change the font if you want, or the bolding of it. That would be what the font weight is. That's just bolding. And save it. And now we'll refresh. And voila. Awesome. So because we picked such a great theme like Virtue, all these tasks like increasing font sizes and putting in headers, and of course making this beautiful home layout are made much easier for beginners. All right, folks, so we are so close to being done with our own e-commerce website, online store, where you can sell whatever you want. It's looking obviously so beautiful, much better than just that default WordPress blog that we installed at the start. And I want to finish off with a little detective work. What I mean by that is we're going to head over to Amazon and we're going to learn how to actually use their colors for some things I know you guys ask about a lot, like your button styles. So how these buttons look down here, their colors, and you know, how people can interact with them, because you want people clicking your buttons, of course, otherwise the sales are going to be tough to get. And after the buttons, we're going to change the color of our header right here. And if we're lucky, we'll have time to make that search bar bigger, because Amazon is all about the search function, if you didn't know already. But you probably do, because you probably use Amazon as much as I do, like every single week. Okay, so the first thing, to get a button color and do a little detective work on that, you just need to find a button that you find attractive aesthetically and right click on it and inspect. And again, we're in Google Chrome. Definitely works in other browsers. I just find that the web design and this sort of CSS and HTML work works the best in Chrome. Okay, so once you find the button, you're going to get a list of styles that the Amazon developers created right here. And we just need to kind of climb up the HTML tree up here. And in doing that, we'll hopefully find what we want. And there it is. We got a little fruit from that tree right here, which is their A button primary color. We can see it's clearly the yellow. So all you need to do is just click and right click copy the 6-digit hex, including the pound sign, And then we're going to go back to our customizer here. And because we were there a while ago, we should X out and go back. And that way we will not save over or accidentally remove any changes we made. And now we're going to go to additional CSS. And we can put our little hex there. So this is like our little work pad here, where we're going to put all of our new styling. And what you need to do now is see what is going on with our buttons. So let's right click on one of these homepage buttons and inspect it. All right, and we can see that it's got some style here. This is like a lot of buttons because this refers to like every different kind of button you might see on like a category page or anywhere that product might live. And we can see the colors down here. And we can see there's a lot of different CSS selectors to choose from, like .button, hashtag submit, all that, .checkout button, .checkout dash button. But why don't we just start with a simple .button and see what happens. Get ourselves to those open brackets, and we're gonna use the color, simple as that, and just go ahead, cut that color and paste it back in and change it. All right, and we'll publish and see if anything worked. All right, scrolling down, we can see not much change there. We still have the gray and blue buttons. Okay guys, little CSS update there. After my hunting and finding and journeying through the Virtue and Amazon CSS, I realized that when we right click on these buttons, for example, the t-shirt, it actually takes us to this bit of CSS, which is .product_item. So once I copy that, and by the way, we know that's the right CSS because when we're highlighting it, the buttons go to blue and green. So that's exactly what's going on with the buttons. And if we uncheck, you can see the CSS actually taking effect on the website itself. Kind of cool, right? Sometimes Amazon even lets you do that sort of clicking around on their site because they think you might be a developer, which you pretty much are becoming one. So now we're going to actually paste that CSS into WordPress again. And bear with me, I know that's a bunch of steps. Then put in our brackets. All right, and now we can go ahead and grab our color. But instead of a color, it's actually a background because we can see from WordPress, the background is what makes the gray and the color actually affects the text in the buttons. So now that we know that, we can do a background and paste in our yellow, and that looks awesome. And then if we want, we can do a color of black. So WordPress can understand text colors, like writing them out like red or black, or it can understand those 6-digit hexes with the pound sign. Awesome. And because on Amazon, they even had that border color, why don't we be fancy and get ourselves that slightly other yellow? I'm sorry, our Cavapoo is trying to nuzzle underneath the office door now and doing a little scratching. And so that was the border color. She wants to come ambush us, and I'm gonna have to go snuggle her in a second. So that'd be the border color. And paste it in, and I'm just hitting Command V sometimes, and so you don't see that paste. All right, cool. So now there's that subtle border. Remember here, semicolon, and great. Our buttons look a lot more like they do on Amazon, which I think should improve the user experience and should get people to actually use them because it's something people are familiar with using. Now, as an additional caveat, if you want to curve your buttons, we can also do that with a little bit of border radius, I think should work. And then you just have to kind of guess the numbers. But we can see that looks pretty good. Maybe not quite as curved would be good. So we can take that number down to like 20 or even like 10 or even like 4 pixels. Nailed it. That's nice and subtle. And that, guys, I know is going to improve the amount of clicks you get on your buttons and the amount of times they're added to the cart, because it just looks so familiar to everyone. Okay guys, our button CSS journey through Amazon and back to your own e-commerce website is done. We're just gonna delete that unused code. And also this little button color actually affected the styles on the product pages. If you click our t-shirt, it just went to the background of the text, I think. So we don't really need this button color. All right, and we will publish, and our little work area here is now nice and clean and all the CSS is working. Just make sure that you focus on the punctuation and write it in just like I do on my screen. If you need me to copy paste or custom write any CSS for you, just ask down below in the comments. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so now we can move on, and it's actually a lot easier to change the color of our top bar because Virtue comes with a special place to do that. But we do need to get that code, and I realized Amazon is kind of stingy with that blue code. Maybe it's some like proprietary thing they just love. But not to worry, because we are clever detectives. What I want you to do is screenshot this page. You can do a Command-Shift-4 on a Mac if you want, and just like screenshot custom crosshairs. I think we learned that already. Been a long video though. And then we can go to PicMonkey, where you should be a customer already. And I'll leave you a link below in the comments if you want to become one, because it's just so good for graphic design. And especially YouTube thumbnails, YouTube art, all that. Really good for promos, flyers, banners, templates, brochures, business cards, whatever. And we can create new, and all we're just going to do is get that screenshot from our computer. So we're not actually creating a new image here. We're just opening a screenshot we took. And then you can use their eyedropper tool from the text. All you do is click add text, for example, and then it's going to give you like the text, but more importantly, we just want to know the colors, and opening the color panel will give you the eyedropper tool right here. Just go ahead and drop it and grab that blue. Super cool. Okay, so now we can go to our theme options, and here we are in our top background color area. We're going to select color, and we're just going to paste in that hex right there. All right, and save changes. And that should do it. And by the way, that was in the advanced styling area. So all of your main content background, top bar, header, all this other sorts of stuff. I'm not sure what X image and Y image placement options are, but you know, you will try them all out, I'm sure, on your own time. And this just helps you get the best features from Amazon looking good right away. So we can refresh our site, and now we have a new top bar. Super clean, super modern, and I didn't really like that blue before. It was kind of like elementary looking, but now you look a lot like Amazon. And of course, the journey is endless in WordPress. You can keep, imitating or keep learning rather from other sites. You can keep learning from other prominent e-commerce websites that others have built after you start your own e-commerce website with this video. And by doing so, you can kind of get inspiration and improve your own design skills based on what Amazon, Apple, Airbnb, Uber, all of those sites are doing on their sites. So you're probably wondering how the e-commerce process works and how you actually collect payments if someone makes a sale on your website. I know I sure would wonder. Let's go ahead and run through an example then. We can click to our shop, or someone could grab a product on your homepage, either way. And let's say someone's gonna get your sports t-shirt here, the funny t-shirt. Now they're gonna click on the product and they're gonna have to select their options, but we don't wanna pay full price because I'm just showing you how it works. So let's say that we have like the red and the large, even though I'm probably an extra large, add to cart. And there it is. So $15. So someone is going to pay you $15 for this t-shirt. Beautiful. Why don't we go to the view cart option? Because that's what they would do. They're going to view their cart and then they're going to actually buy from you. We can take out the 3 hats. Definitely have enough hats already. And then we're going to proceed to checkout. So super standard, just like on Amazon, however, a more simplified version, which will get the job done and get it done in style. So proceed to checkout. All right, so now someone has the option to go ahead and create an account on your site or just check out as a guest. And we don't have the option set up for them to create an account yet, so they're just going to go ahead and do it as a guest. But if we go down here, it shows that actually there are no available payment methods for your state. So what we will do is go to our dashboard and then click on WooCommerce. All you need to do then is click on Setup Payments, and we're going to go ahead and click Get Started. So you need a live email address, a Gmail will work, or maybe your company email, that's fine. We're going to continue. And then to use WooCommerce Payments, all you need is a WordPress.com username. So that's really easy to make. You just go to WordPress.com, sign up in Google. And we're going to click on the sign up page. So I know it's kind of weird that we have to do a WordPress.com account and a WordPress.org account, but actually it's good because that way you can use features from both services, and WordPress.com has a lot of cool stuff as well. Then we can just click sign up. So this part's really easy. Just pop in an email address that works for you and go ahead and give yourself a username. And usernames can actually be kind of tough because there's so many WordPress.com users, but you'll also be using WordPress.org, so they just don't know where to go, so they start at WordPress.com, but you'll be even more powerful because you're using WordPress.org, the full version, and WordPress.com. So grab a username and don't be surprised if it's taken. It's crazy. Someone might have even set up your first name, last name. All right, and then a password, and create your account. All right, so we don't need to do the domain step yet. We're just gonna go ahead and come to our WooCommerce payments. And now we can click approve. And we're setting up the best free way to collect payments on a website. Okay, we just have to enter in a few more settings here. Just the basics, guys. So we are an individual. Cool. You gotta have a phone number to make it work. And an email here, and make sure that's an email you can check regularly. And continue. All right, pop open your phone and grab the code. Okay, I just got mine. All right, go ahead and fill in your personal details, and we're almost ready to collect a payment. All right, so it doesn't really matter what you choose for industry. But go ahead and enter it in all very legitly. Now we'll select an account for payouts, which will come from Stripe. So almost everyone uses Stripe these days. It's just like Square and even faster than PayPal. So it's gonna work great. We can do debit card or bank account, but most of us just use a bank account for collecting payments. So that's what we'll do. I'm just gonna blank this out for sake of privacy. Although I guess it wouldn't matter a ton if you had my numbers here and went ahead and sent me payments just for fun. Save those. And hopefully you have some of these numbers memorized in your head. I definitely do from all the different payments we've made online. Okay, then once things look good, just click submit. Okay, hooray guys. It says thanks for verifying your business details. You're ready to start taking payments. We've completed the payments because we set up the WooCommerce payments using Stripe. All we need to do was get that free WordPress.com account set up just as a formality and then enter in our bank information. Okay, cool. So to demo our first payment that we're gonna receive to our site, I'm actually gonna buy one of our products from ourselves, which I know it sounds crazy, but I trust me as a vendor. And first I'm gonna make a coupon. So I'm gonna go to WooCommerce, hover on that and click coupons. This is really fun. You can give out coupons based on the season or for when someone signs up to your email list, for example. Just click add a coupon. And this one is gonna be called Summer Days. It's a pretty cool, just a random word actually. And then it's gonna be a discount type of fixed cart, but you can also do percentage or fixed product. All right, and the coupon amount is just gonna be $10. All right, and then you can also make it allow free shipping, but we're just gonna do a standard coupon, never gonna expire. People are gonna love it, so buy during the summer days, and then publish it. Okay, so what we get to do with our coupon here, guys, is go ahead and use it during our checkout. Here we are checking out, and now that we've set up our payment options, we're just gonna hit refresh on the page, and now there should be a beautiful option to check out with WooCommerce payments. Super easy, everything's all on the same page, so no one goes to this weird like off the screen page or gets redirected. Everything is done right here on your website, so you won't lose anyone. That's really important. Okay, so what someone's gonna do is fill out their billing details. So here I am, full name. So all someone needs to do is enter in their credit or debit card. And you can accept both of them, and then the expiration and the CVV. Cool. And then I'm also going to scroll up and click here to enter your coupon code, which is summer days, and apply that coupon. And again, it's all dynamic, so no one has to leave the page here or re-enter the information, which no one likes doing. All right, and we can see our order total here is $5, and I'm going to pay myself that right now. All we have to do is place that order. Beautiful. All right, this is what your customer will see. Checkout. Thank you, your order has been received. But what you're going to be concerned about is going to your email and seeing that money come in. So it's going to say new order. They'll track the numbers of it. And we can actually say that this looks safe, so they never go to the spam. This is just a standard WooCommerce payment receipt that everyone gets. So everyone who's been selling hats or shirts or smoothies gets one of these, and it'll say your sale. Hopefully you make a lot of money. We also had a coupon, so we made a little less money. And beautiful. So after that's done, guys, all you have to do is go to your dashboard in WordPress and click on your payments tab, which is a function of WooCommerce, of course. And then you will see that you have been paid for the purchase, in which case we are really happy, even though we made the purchase from ourselves. It'll say, that's your purchase, last deposit referring to the money that went into your bank account. So we can just click on the date right here of the last deposit. Pretty cool. And so it's going to say that it was a charge type on the date it was made at the time, the amount that was bought minus the fees, net this much goes right into your bank account, which you have connected to the WooCommerce WordPress system. So what's important is that you got paid. I love seeing that green dot there for success. Really nice that that payment is automatic and we don't have to do any more work. WordPress takes care of all of it. You might be worried about the fees right there, which I totally understand. In this case, it was a $5 purchase with a coupon, and the fees are kind of extravagant of 45 cents out of $5. Let me break down those fees for you. So what the fees are when you use this modern new WooCommerce payment system. Those fees are just 2.9% of the purchase cost, along with an additional 30 cents. I don't know why it's 30 cents, but if we get our calculator out, I can show you how that's added up. I actually just added it right there before I recorded this. So it's going to be 5 times 0.029. That's the 2.9%. So it's about 14 cents, and they actually rounded up to 15 cents. So then plus 0.30 for 30 more cents that they take for doing the service, and that's 44.5 or rounded up to 45 cents. So that's the fee. And I know it's annoying. I can definitely empathize with you. However, if you do sell one of our handbags on the site, for example, which is going for $65, or more realistically, that might be more like $265, then you'd get a lot more money in your pocket. So let's say it was a $65 sale, then you get 2.9% taken off. Then you also get an additional 30 cents taken off. So your fees on a $65 handbag are just going to be $2.19 with the roundup right there, which is truly not bad and actually kind of awesome because, again, WordPress and WooCommerce, the most modern way to do e-commerce, take care of all the back-end stuff for you, and they literally just pay you in your bank account. So you log into your bank and voila, there's money. And from having worked in e-commerce for almost 7 years now, I know that the most important thing to keep you up and running is margins. So that is a pretty good margin if you're going to make that much money, and they take care of all of it for you, especially if it's just you, or maybe you and your brother or sister or family members running the business. You don't have a lot of overhead, hopefully. You're going to get a lot of money sent to your bank account. And believe me, I know that if you used a tool like Shopify or something, they would charge you a lot more and chop it up just to exist online. So WooCommerce and WordPress are definitely at the cutting edge. I know they're only going good places in the future, and that is how you get paid. So there you go. All done, guys. Thanks for watching. I really hope you get a lot of sales. And if you have any questions on actually getting your products to people after they make those purchases, which they can now do on your website, then just shoot me a comment, or you can always hit up our Facebook group and drop a note there. I'll see all those right away on my phone, and I try to get back to everyone the same day because I know how you want to get things done. And time is of the essence, and obviously the website world moves faster and faster every day. So, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe. If you just want to make this site and then, you don't want to make websites in the future, I still would recommend subscribing anyways, because we always come out with new websites, and maybe, just maybe, you'll want to become a web designer and use the skills here to make websites for other people. So we always have new videos, new websites, new tips, giveaways, and stuff like that. And it's just really great to hear how everyone's doing, because we get so many comments these days from new websites that sometimes I mix things up and I think like one person's website is a different one, and I just want to stay in touch with you individually and really get to know what you're doing and see how you're changing the WordPress world for the better. All right, so yeah, please subscribe, guys. Please like the video. That would mean a ton to me. Hope we can get to 1,000 likes maybe in the future. That'd be awesome. Probably take us a little while though, because our channel is still growing. But let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, I'm Narayan. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the comments. Good luck with your new e-commerce website online store. Okay, thanks. Bye, guys.